use Streamlabs or StreamYard because it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
We're live.
Oh, it just pushed it live.
Well, hello, everybody.
Maybe.
Oh, it did.
I don't.
This is the sketch part about StreamYard. So do you remember when we used to have to stream on Google? Was it Hangout?
Yeah.
When we collab with people. So we used to use Hangout.
Yep.
And then Hangout, they're like, "Fuck you guys, we don't like Hangouts, and we're getting rid of it."
Yeah.
And so then StreamYard was like, "We're the new integration for collaboration." YouTube was like, "StreamYard."
Are you just explaining everyone?
Yeah, because they're gonna like this.
Okay.
The first time you and I ever used this shit, I had to go in and set it up,
Yeah.
and literally when I set up, it was like, "We need access to everything." And I'm like, "You want us to give our whole YouTube channel this thing you and I, nobody on the internet's ever heard of?"
Yep.
And we did it, and here we are. They didn't steal it yet. So, needless to say,
we're kind of on. I mean, we're on our time.
Yeah, we are
realistically.
I mean,
which
dude,
is,
it's only 9:02. I'd say a little early.
We've done worse.
I'd say that's about a minute early.
Here.
If we're being
that's
honest.
what you grabbed, huh?
Yep.
I like that.
Welcome back, everybody.
We're the Bourbon Junkie. He's Dan and I'm Sean.
We did a shit job of announcing no stream last week.
Yep.
We were in Kentucky.
I blame Dan.
We picked literally several barrels of whiskey.
3.
Which is, I think that qualifies.
Matt Porter picked 1, 2.
Porter picked 2.
2.
We picked 3. So
Yep.
actually, as a group, we picked 5, which is definitely easily several.
A lot of whiskeys. We killed CJ.
Yeah. So if you don't know, like some of the picks that we go on that are scheduled, that are on site, we have patrons come with us from time to time. So Bove and CJ came on this pick, and CJ had his first cigar ever. Unfortunately, probably his last cigar ever.
Yep.
And, you know, Bove had his first Starlight adventure ever, and probably his last Starlight adventure ever.
Bove's drunk 7 times. Let's just throw that out there.
Was drunk for 2
It was just
days.
it's a roller coaster of drunk, peaking, you know.
Oh, it was incredible. But the trip was actually like amazing.
It was amazing.
Probably, it's probably my favorite Kentucky trip we've ever had.
We get to just drive around the Huber family farm, and they just fed us fruits out of their giant farm.
We picked fresh strawberries and peaches. We ate fresh pizzas that they made.
Bo said, "I missed your musks."
I miss you, Bo.
Missed you too, bud.
I'm glad you're doing good, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, that trip kind of ruined strawberries for me because we bought some. And I was like, "Fuck, are these sad?"
You got to leave them out in the sun. Get them
sad berries is what they were.
Hot berries. They were gooey.
Yeah.
Never had a gooey strawberry before. Huber Farms. But yeah, so tonight, guys, this is what we're doing. We're going to talk about, obviously, Alec Bradley's the sponsor, as you see in the corner of your screen.
Okay.
And then we're going to have Cigar Dojo on. They're our guests tonight. We went on their live stream
a month ago.
What has life been? I don't even know.
Well, about a month ago.
About a month ago, give or take.
And they tolerated us.
They did tolerate a lot of shit with us, if we're being honest.
Because we decided to sit on my deck, and then all the bugs came in.
Have a nice deck.
Real nice deck.
Joe Sullivan, hashtag Team Sean for the night. Always here for you, bud. Still not my fault at Whiskey Week. Holy shit.
It was, definitely. And thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
There were a time Mudkip was going to take the blame.
Yeah.
This
it would figure to be right now. Yeah.
Huber Farms is, as far as I'm concerned, absolutely
magical. But Kyle Raymond said Starlight is a magical place. It is.
Dude.
But if you ever have a chance to visit there, definitely visit there.
I don't know if they like do public tours, but if they do that.
Yeah. Well, they do, because there was a public tour going on when we walked through.
That's true. I should probably have turned my computer
off.
Yeah. If it gets really blurry, somebody in chat say that, and then I'll turn my computer off.
You want to try Gedry?
Gedre.
Okay.
Gedre.
Wow, that's some awesome. Oh, that's some timing. Enjoying a pour of Dovetail and AB Prensado right now.
Hell yeah, buddy. Prensados are great, dude.
Yeah. Because you can drink them with anything.
You can drink a Prensado with anything.
Yep. It's going to be one of those nights for me. So,
you know, kind of got an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay. ADHD. Our ride to Standard Rock Lighthouse is all set. Pack warm.
No, he wants to go to a murder lighthouse in the middle of Lake Superior.
I didn't realize that I saw the video and I didn't read the rest of his text that said we should make a video out of it. It would be amazing.
No.
I don't do haunted stuff.
I said,
I'm not that guy.
Fuck that, comma, and I mean fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a boat for 4 hours to get out to a lighthouse that someone described as they would rather be in prison.
Yeah. So, okay, this is what we're doing. We're going to talk whiskey with Cigar Dojo tonight. We're going to talk cigars with Cigar Dojo tonight. We're just going to hang out, shoot the shit. Yep. You guys know how our streams go. Nobody's confused.
There will be no direction, and yet there will be kind of direction.
There will be zero direction. It will work out great.
Yep.
So, our guests, Cigar Dojos.
There we are.
What's up, boys?
We are jazzed to be here.
Jordan and Eric, thank you guys for coming on and blessing our measly little stream with your presence.
Well, hey, man, we get it. We love it. In fact, we had a blast with you guys a couple weeks ago or whatever it was. So we're honored to be on the show. We can't wait to talk some cigars and whiskey with you cats.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, so when we were on like a month or so ago, we started the stream by being
late,
3 to 5 minutes late for like the backstage part of like make sure your shit's working.
Yeah.
Then we just full sent into the second portion of us having an echo in our soundboard, which is still not resolved, which is why we don't have monitors in our ears right now.
You can gift memberships now on YouTube. Okay, Nicholas Jones just gifted 50 Bourbon Junkie memberships. Thank you, buddy.
That's a lot of members.
That is a lot.
Hey, Nick, thanks.
Hey,
Nick, what the
cool
fuck?
down.
That's a lot, dude.
Fucking love you though.
So then, Nick, thank you, buddy. And then who was the super chat?
Ivan.
Cheers,
said,
fellas.
cheers, fellas. Thank you, buddy.
So then after the full send with the echo,
yep.
We were out on Sean's deck because it was beautiful outside.
And then it decided to rain.
And then there were there was a locust storm. Yeah. We had a plague from the Bible and all that stuff. But now we're here and we're inside again with hopefully less echo. And then you guys are in your studio set up as you guys always are. So thank you guys for coming on, and thank you for not hating us after that shit show that is us.
Mostly that one, yeah.
Well, I got to tell you guys, this is the show that almost didn't happen, and let me tell you why. Because you guys may not know this, but Jordan and I, we are big, and when I say big hockey fans, we are. We are hockey fanatics, and obviously we live in Colorado, so you might guess that we're fans of the Colorado
I have a question
Avalanche.
About that, actually.
And tonight could have been,
we ain't gonna miss that cup, boys.
Tonight could have been Game 7, and so I kept like thinking, like, oh my god, like what am I going to tell these guys? I got cerebral palsy over the weekend.
And Dan would believe that.
Here's the thing. You could have literally been like, there's a hockey game on. And I've been like, it's summertime. So it is not. I have no idea hockey was going on right now.
I got to mention that. So about 5 months ago, you might have had our sponsor for tonight's live stream, Alec and Bradley Rubin.
That's right.
On, and I do believe, Jordan, you made a bottle bet of some sort with Alec.
Yeah, it was contingent on both of our teams making it to the Cup, and they're not Tampa fans; they're Panther fans. So if both the teams made it to the Cup, then the bet became on, and it was like whatever he wants out of my top shelf versus
your closet,
his top shelf.
Okay,
but they didn't hold up there into the bargain. I would have won his top shelf bourbon anyways.
They got swept in 4 games against the Lightning, and so that was over at that point.
There you go. Okay, I thought it was just that the Avs were going to win, so I was like, "Holy shit!" Alec owes him a bottle. Like, and going into Jordan's.
I tried to weasel that into the bet later on, but
Alec didn't even have us making the Cup in his bracket pick. So screw Alec.
In my bracket pick, at least I put the Panthers and the Avs together. He didn't even give us that.
Well, and also I would have, when Sean told me about this today, that there was this bet on the line theoretically. I was so ecstatic that Alec lost. I didn't care what it was. At the point in time, Sean told me you guys had a bet. I'm like, the fact that Alec lost literally just makes everything better. Like,
is that torch anywhere?
Now, here's the thing, guys. Alec, he knows zero and cares zero about
he was
sports.
Like, I don't care about hockey. I'll make a bet. I was like,
but his brother Bradley is a fanatic. In fact, about a year ago, when I was down in Miami, me and Bradley went to a Panthers game together. He's a big time hockey guy, and so he follows. And he's been very, very quiet, Jordan, in the last 3 weeks for some reason. Shockingly, yeah.
So what happened was, realistically, is Alec went to Bradley and was like, "Hey, I'm going to make a bet, and I know jack shit about this, so I'm really going to need you."
He just ripped it. He literally said, "I don't know anything about hockey. I'll make that bet with you."
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the funny thing is like you and Bradley are the big sports fans. I mean, I love hockey, but me and Alec both are just want each other's bourbon. So
that's fair.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. All right, guys. So we talked a little bit before we jumped on that you guys don't have anything poured yet.
Yes.
All right. What are our
options here?
All right. So here's the deal. We want you guys to pick what Jordan and I drink tonight. Now, none of these are crazy at all. These are all basics. So we'll start on this side. We've got your standard Elijah Craig right there.
Okay.
That's one option. We've got the Smoke Wagon Straight. By the way, I was at an event on Saturday. I got to meet Aaron from Smoke Wagon.
It's so
Such
weird.
cool guy.
It's so weird that I know you met him because I posted the picture on Instagram and said we're live streaming tonight, and he messaged and was like, "I just met him."
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Hilarious.
Really cool guy. He reminds me of Jack Nicholson in Mars Attacks. You know the character, the cowboy character.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
the
I've not
president in
seen
Mars
that
Attacks?
movie.
No,
I'm
like the casino owner. You know the casino owner that Jack Nicholson plays with the cowboy hats.
Oh, right.
All right, the next one is Jack Daniel's Bonded.
Okay.
And on the front of this, guys, it says aged in select barrels for depth and character. I'm like, hello, Jack Daniels. That's the whole point of that. Thank you for
You should probably always be doing that.
thank you for telling us that. We've got some Knob Creek 9.
Okay.
Fine. There's 2 left. We got a brand new bottle of Early Times. Thank you, Scott Bray Band, Trinity Cigar Lounge, greatest cigar lounge east of the Mississippi.
Metal screw cap.
And then we have our Infinity bottle that we've been working on for 5 or 6 years.
I love that decanter.
Yeah. So, all right, what does Jordan get a drink?
All right, someone's got to rip that.
Have you guys had any alcohol today?
Yes.
A little scotch.
Love that.
Yeah.
We're gonna the answer. 100% love the honesty, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Okay, what have you already drank today?
I've had the Knob Creek.
Yeah, same here.
Is that 100 proof Knob Creek?
It's the 9, so it's the 100 proof.
You got to go into the bonded Jack Daniels or the Early Time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we can go back down in proof. We're already here.
No, you're right.
We've made it halfway up the hill. You know what I mean? And it plateaus for a
I was
long
going to say
time.
Smoke Wagon, but whatever.
Oh, whoa, shit. The Smoke Wagon is my favorite bottle that you just showed us, without a doubt.
And then he said to not drink that. So, go with what you feel.
Nah, I think that Jordan, what are you going to do? You want to try what do you want to try?
Well, I just heard Smoke Wagon.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do
That's what
I get, boys? I have never tried this Jack Daniel's Bonded. Should I try this?
Go with that.
Do you like bananas?
Yeah, I love bananas.
Tastes like bananas.
Okay. I got to try that.
I like that whiskey
Tastes
way
like
more than
bananas.
Sean does.
Yeah, he does.
Are you guys big Brown Foreman fans in general?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I was going to ask you
bananas.
what you guys thought of the. So here's the thing. I don't know fully how into like the whiskey industry or like all the, I don't want to call it drama. This isn't drama, but like whiskey news or whatever. So Jackie Zykin worked for Old Forester. Absolute. Like Jackie will be in like
the industry.
Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Whiskey personality, face of Old Forester for a long time. All of like the birthday bourbon stuff. She was like one of the main people on the birthday bourbon project. She was the main person on like the Old Forester 117s. If you guys have had the little 375 milliliter ones. And she left recently.
Yeah.
And so if you guys knew, that's why I asked if you guys are Brown Foreman fans or not. We're like the biggest Brown Foreman fans.
Yeah. We've been accused of being paid by them for reviews.
Fanboys?
Yeah.
Fanboys, maybe?
Yeah. Well, I just straight up say I'll fangirl all day. 100%. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But with her leaving, it'll be really interesting now because I don't know.
Devastating.
Yeah.
100%.
From a brand perspective, you lost your face, literally.
Yeah.
Like your personality, your whole brand personality was Jackie's icon.
Everyone thinks of Jackie when you think of Old Forester in now. So.
Everybody loved her.
Yeah.
Literally has to be one of the most beloved humans in whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
But
Jordan, that's like you leaving the dojo.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Here.
Yeah. Breaking news.
I just remember like back in the day when we'd go wait and spend the night at liquor stores to get peppies. It was always like if you didn't actually get it when you got to the front of the line, they'd be like, "Oh, here's some birthday bourbon." And back then we were like, "I'm not buying that." And then like looking back, like, "What are we doing? That's just as good."
I know.
I was gonna say I saw you pull up a picture on an episode a while back where you talked about a single stop, and it was like 2 Pappy 20s, a couple Pappy 15s, a George G. Stag or 2. You're like, that was one stop.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that day that you're bringing that up. I know that picture, and what's crazy about that day is the final stop was this liquor store way up north. What's that one way up north? Big, huge, not Davidson's. Big, huge liquor. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That was the final stop, and I got a Pappy 15, and so I was happy, and I'd already gotten like 20 and another 15 and all this sort of stuff. And my friend comes out. He didn't know anything about bourbon, but he was just excited because there was this thing going on, like this bourbon buying experience. And he was like, "Hey, Eric," he's like, "I got like 3 bottles of 15. You want to just buy this other one from me?" And I was like, and at the time, I'd already spent like $400 that day. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I got enough. Yeah. I got enough. I was such a babe in the woods.
Well, and now like the crazy thing is not that $400 doesn't mean anything now, but $400 in whiskey
doesn't
now
get you anything.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, if you walk in and saw like one Blanton's, and then you saw one like any other normal Elmer T. Lee.
I sent Dan a picture of Elmer T. Lee a month ago. It was $699 in a shop, and they had 3 of them. And I went, "What?" I was like, "They're putting too many extra numbers on this price tag." Yeah, $400 is nothing.
Blanton's, you guys, Blanton's like in the groups, the Facebook groups and stuff.
Yeah,
it gets so much hate. Like,
mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about Blanton's?
Okay, Blanton's is fun.
It's good if you get it at SRP. That's it.
Yeah, well, but the problem with Blanton's is because it's like the most well-known not Pappy.
It's the whiskey punching bag.
Yeah,
of the entire,
and so it gets everything.
Yeah, hobby.
It's pretty damn good whiskey for being completely honest. Like it's low proof, right? So for it is what it is. But I mean, honestly, Sean and I put the video out forever ago. We like blinded them, and we've always talked shit about Blanton's. We're those people, right?
Yeah.
Like always talking shit about Blanton's.
We thought
it's the worst mash bill too. All these other ones are way better. Everybody only wants, like, if you walked into a store with a person who is relatively new to bourbon and you saw Rock Hill Farms and the Blanton's, everybody would have bought the Blanton's, not the Rock Hill Farms, right? Then Sean and I blinded Rock Hill, Elmer, I think Hancock, and Blanton's, the 4 mash bill 2s.
We got real humbled.
Slapped the shit out of all of them. And it was like, oh no, dude. Now it has to be our favorite bottle of whiskey ever. Yep. So now when we don't have a Blanton's, it's like, what do we get? We got to figure out a way to find a Blanton's for not $100. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm glad that you guys say that, because like, I mean, I can't say that I'm like a Blanton's fanboy or anything, but I've never thought it was bad or anything. And you see this, hatred towards it. It's like, why does everybody hate it so bad?
I think I don't think that people
it's
like
a cool thing to hate though.
Well, I don't think people like to feel marketed to, right? I think marketing works really good marketing works really well.
Yeah.
But people don't know they're being marketed to if the marketing's really good. Yeah. Right. So when the marketing is more in your more obvious, like the Sazerac does have a lot of shaped bottles, but like Stag Junior is a better bottle than Blanton's usually, and Stag Junior is in the most basic normal bottle of all time, right? And the E.H. Taylors are incredible bottles of whiskey often, and they're in a more normal bottle shape. Like this Blanton's bottle is so designed around the idea of people needing to have it with the dates on it and it being a single barrel, and it's every buzzword, it's every clickbait thing in the industry in one bottle of whiskey, realistically.
And I forgot to ask you guys, what are you guys smoking right now?
Jordan?
Well, I'm doing we did a Whiskey Rebellion with Roma Craft. In this, first we did like a Robusto-ish size. What was that? 2015. And then a couple years later, we came out with the Pennsatucky. So it's more of like a Lonsdale.
Oh, nice.
So that's a Roma Craft collab
Roma
we
Craft,
did.
It's got like a Indonesian Basuki Laharo wrapper. Kind of cool.
I'm in on that. I don't know what that is. So yeah.
High priming wrapper.
And I am smoking a really interesting one that you guys might dig. It's the Camacho Imperial Stout Barrel Age that we did with Camacho. These are long gone, but here's the cool thing about these, you guys. They were like, they're like, hey, we want to do a cigar with you guys, and we were like, yeah. And they're like, what do you want to do? And we were like, I don't know. And at the time, Dylan Austin, who worked for Camacho, now he's the head of Davidoff. He was like, well, you guys are from the beer capital of the world there in Denver. Maybe we can get like a barrel of something. What would be good? And we were like, well, everybody loves to smoke cigars with Oscar Blues 1050, right? But they don't barrel age that often. They only barrel age occasionally. And just so like on a whim, I called the guys at Oscar Blues and I was like, hey, we're looking for some of your barrels if you have it. And they were like, oh man, you called on the perfect day. We just got done barrel aging our Oscar Blues 1050. We got a bunch of barrels. We can ship 4 of them down to Honduras. And these particular barrels came from first Heaven Hill. So they aged Heaven Hill whiskey or bourbon, whatever was in it. We don't really know that for sure. And then it went on up to Boulder, Colorado, which they then aged Oscar Blues 1050 in. And then we shipped those 4 barrels down to Honduras, where we aged some of the filler of this particular cigar in it. And so this thing has a bit of Heaven Hill in it right here that I'm smoking.
That's basically their triple Camacho's triple Maduro with barrel aged Corojo in the filler.
Jeez,
interesting. Holy shit, that's a process.
How many like collaborations do you guys do a year?
Typically around 6. I think it's might be a little less this year, right?
No, I think it's going to be around 6.
Yeah, around 6.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
Holy shit!
We try to do enough to where, so here's the deal. Lots of companies do like collaborations and everything, and usually it has to do with like, oh well, just can you make this cigar in a different size or something like that, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not dissing that, but we've always said, hey, we're the Cigar Dojo. We don't want to do that. We want to actually make something like extremely unique, kind of like what I just described to you guys, like, and what Jordan described in that Whiskey Rebellion. So like our projects, every single one of them take at least a year to do, and where we come up with something that's maybe never been done before or extremely unique in some sort of way that's going to give, our community something fun and interesting to grab their mitts on. Yeah. And so that's why we just do 6, and like even like next year 2023, like that's all of those projects are already like in the hopper that we're making those projects now. And the ones that we're coming out with this summer, this is our 10th anniversary, so we have some really, really big ones hitting this summer. But yeah, we put like a massive amount of effort into these releases.
Well, we kind of got in that state of mind because our first collaboration we did was in 2014 with Drew Estate, and it was the dog on it. And it's like it's kind of like this legendary cigar. So like, how do you go down from that? Like we always have to do something totally unique.
I think we started a really terrible trend for ourselves because there's only so much you can do to up the ante, right?
Yeah. You started at Everest, and then where do we go from here?
Shit, man. Well, it would be like in our world, kind of the idea of it's not the same because your guys are making one-off experiences, but it's kind of like doing barrel picks a little bit. And it would be like us starting with like the one pick we've always wanted to do no matter what, kicking off.
Good news is they can roll a few more cigars and we can put bottles of whiskey in a barrel.
That's true. We can't add the whiskey to the barrel, but
you guys have to wait a little longer than we do.
That's true. But like the repeatability of like the unicorn idea off the rip.
Yep.
Like that's a disaster. It's great at first. And then like a month afterwards, you're like, well, shit, now what are we going to do? Like, we got to get super creative and work way harder to just make the second thing now. And we only did one. But
so you guys just mentioned you're coming up on your 10th anniversary of the dojo. Why don't we go back to the start of the dojo? Take me to quickcigarreviews.com.
Jordan, go
ahead. Yeah, I mean, we had it's kind of funny because cigars were so taboo in our family. Like any kind of smoking, you wouldn't even like mention it or anything. Me and my brother like kind of secretly smoked cigars when we were, in high school or whatever. And then we happened to be in Vegas, and somehow we went by the Casa Fuente shops, and I don't know why, but you were like, "Hey, let's go check that out." And we were like, "What is he doing?" And like, sure enough, he like got a cigar. And we like had a cigar. It was like so crazy that this was going on. Thought that was just like a one, like what happens in Vegas kind of a story. But then when we got back, you were like, hey, we went, you're like, we should go smoke another cigar. And we were like, oh, this is weird. And then from then on out, like we just got fully into cigars. We started the quick cigar reviews, just like to catalog our experiences smoking cigars. That kind of got a little bit of traction. And from there we were like, okay, we got to regroup, come up with something that actually has good branding. Because quick cigar reviews sucks.
Well, now you guys have a lot.
The dojo verse.
You guys have the whole the app, like a whole thing. I mean, Alec. So it's funny because Alec was the one that turned us on to you guys. Like was it like 2 years ago? Whenever I don't remember how long ago it was we talked initially, but it's a long time ago. And he was like, "Dude, they're launching an app. It's in beta, but you got to check it out." And I was like, they're not going to talk to us. They have their own fucking app, dude.
Yeah.
Like, why in the world would they, like, come to find out app design is a freaking nightmare, right? And he was like, no, it's going to be super cool. You can go there and like post your cigars and people can comment on like the whole thing. And I was like, there's no freaking way. And the app, and you guys are still running and ripping through all that stuff. Like the app seems to be, is it working out great?
Oh yeah. So initially we actually started an app 6 months after we started the Cigar Dojo 10 years ago. And that's really kind of what put us on the map. It was like, available in the App Store and Google Play and all that. But it was really rudimentary. It was basically just, you post the cigar and people comment on it. And that was really all you could do. And so like, I don't know, after we had, gotten pretty popular in the industry and kind of gotten some legs and whatnot, we were about to invest like 50 grand because there was really no like cigar centric thing that you could do. All you could really
just the forums.
Yeah, it was just you post a picture, you post comments. That's pretty much all you could do.
That's how whiskey is for Facebook right now, right? That's all. Yeah, 100%.
So we wanted to do all these really cool things like check into cigars, earn belts and badges and all that kind of stuff. Like you guys you're familiar probably with Untapped, right?
Yep.
And so we wanted to kind of mimic that. And right in that process, right around that same time, Apple cracked down on cigar apps and they started kicking cigar apps out.
Oh shit.
And so eventually we got kicked out as well. Now I had a really long talk with a Apple representative and we were able to stay on like a couple extra years while we developed the dojoverse.com. And so with the dojoverse.com, we developed it from the ground up with all these really cool features. And so now it's just a progressive web app. You just point your browser on your phone to dojoverse.com and you can save it to your home screen, and then it just functions like an app. But the cool thing is, guys, we're not under the thumb of Apple and or Google or anybody else. Like it's our platform. We can do whatever we want with it. And so in a way, it was sort of a blessing in disguise that we didn't end up spending 50 grand on the old app, which would have been kicked out of the App Store.
Platform,
dude. Well, and it's like that's how like you have to look at it from a lot of every platform now, right? It's one of those things where like that's why Sean and I like there are ideas and thought processes and like things that need to take place in case YouTube demonetizes a channel, right? Or in case like whoever, anybody, like Patreon decides to like shut their doors randomly, right? There's an idea that it's like we do this full time and that's incredible and it's amazing, but at the same time, the income comes from somewhere, right? And those incomes are platforms right now. And so realistically, it's like, man, if YouTube decides to say, hey, no more alcohol content on YouTube can be monetized, then, everything will be okay. But without thinking that at all, it like just blindly moving forward. And if you get like slapped in the face by that, that's a fucking disaster, a huge disaster.
Yeah. In fact, right now, guys, just so you know, YouTube is cracking down on cigar content.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, even though we broadcast live to YouTube, we then turn around and we upload it to Vimeo, and that's what we have to embed back into our website because you can't have a YouTube embed for a cigar related content.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know that there was a lot of industry or a lot of talk about
recently,
cigar dedicated content being either shadow banned or like not being pushed even to subscribers or not being pushed to new people, non-subscribers or anything like that. But
right.
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just up to the platform. Like if they decide to do that with alcohol, it's not up to Sean and I. And we'll have no say in it and they won't give a flying fuck what we have to think about it either. You know what I mean? So it just is what it is. But
Alex said it's always great to see Jordan on this side of the camera. I was gonna say, do you guys have someone behind the scenes right now running this for you guys? Because I know that's kind of your role normally, Jordan.
Well, we just turned the camera on.
We just turned it on, and even that was hard.
You saw us have a lot of issues, so
we have issues every night.
Every night, it's an ongoing us thing, really.
I don't know who it is, dude. It's Sony. I swear to God, Sony's like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Push out a little firmware update.
We do have Scotty Braband over there just in case there's an emergency, like like a camera catches on fire.
Perfect.
Scotty will be over there to put the fire out. So yeah.
So is your guys' set like a garage? I don't quite.
It's a full-on studio.
Once you could say that, but formerly, but now it's a studio.
Okay, because I when you cut over to where you're normally sitting, Jordan, you can see like the batting on the insulation on the door. And I was like, is that a garage door? That looks like a garage door.
Try to like get like the bokeh and like trying to blur out what's behind me.
Guys, just 2 weeks ago, Jordan, tell them what we did.
Oh man, we did a full reno.
Nice.
No.
Took out the flooring. We painted the ceiling.
That's miserable.
You know, I thought that would be easy, but it was like the hardest thing I've ever done.
Painting ceilings fucking
you
sucks.
don't realize how heavy your hands are until about an hour.
Up on a ladder and your arm is. We got 2 paint sprayers though, and we just.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Now this is like a pitched roof with so it's like open, like it's like industrial kind of looking, like, and it was an interesting day and a half.
And obviously we got the new sign back here.
That sign is awesome.
That is,
I love that sign.
Is fire. I was gonna say, well, our new building that we're currently getting ready to move into will also have a garage door. So that's where I was going.
Got it.
It's just nice, Sometimes you just gotta open it up and let some summer in.
Well, there was a conversation at one point with the contractor. He's like, "Do you want to remove the garage door?" And then I thought, to move all this shit over, you know how nice a garage door will be. To have just a garage door instead of a man door to move shit in and out, or furniture or whatever,
or people,
or humans, or bot bear what. But then as I'm sitting there thinking about it, it was like, well, we could get one of those like screen net things because in the summer when it's actually nice out, because you guys get it. There's winter in there too, right? Winter fucking sucks.
Pretty sure it's still winter in Colorado.
Yeah. So,
yes, there is winter here, Dan.
Yeah, Michigan winter absolutely blows most of the time, right? And so those things where it's like, but it like 3 months out of the year, there's gonna be a lot of nights where it's gonna be really nice to have that door open and just have like the nice
smoke
cool
some cigars.
breeze.
Yeah.
Smoking,
Yeah.
So it's like you don't want to get rid of the door if you don't got it, And then
when
the whole wall.
Embrace the door.
When the hockey game's on, the door goes open, and
100%.
We're just hanging out watching the big screen over there. It's amazing.
Right?
Absolutely, that's super cool.
How's the wait? You haven't had the bonded before, right? How is it?
It's actually pretty good. Like I was.
Voice went up real high there.
Yeah. See, I don't know if I trust that opinion right there. Yeah.
It's really good. I promise.
Super mediocre.
I gotta try it.
I don't think that I would be able to tell that this was Jack Daniels.
Really?
If I was doing it blind, I don't think I'd be able to tell it was Jack Daniels. I get the banana that you're saying.
Sure.
But I mean, obviously it has a little cinnamon too, but it's pretty well balanced. Like it's not bad at all.
Do you guys generally like nut? You guys had Knob Creek before, so you probably do. Do you guys generally like nutty cigars or bourbons, whiskeys, whatever?
Yeah, I dig the nutty profile.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I love
that. Yeah. See,
Bookers.
that's. Oh shit. Okay, we're on different. You got a closet full of E.H. Taylors, and you're talking about you like Booker. I feel like you just need to
but
ship
it's
some
like
of those
Booker's 30th and shit like that. As we talk about.
He's like, I like Booker's Rye a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's decent.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for as far as bourbons go. I like it. Almost for me, it's almost more of the mouthfeel than anything else. Like, I want that viscous, syrupy kind of thickness to the bourbon.
Yeah.
And that'll grab my attention quicker, I think, than like a flavor, typically. Like I could almost like any kind of flavor in bourbon. Almost. I'm not a big corn guy. But if it's anything if it's caramel, that wasn't good. Caramel, if it's cinnamon, if it's nutty, I'm okay with that as long as it's nice and thick and syrupy.
I mean, I guess there's your first deep thought. Is it caramel or caramel?
I think that's 2 different things, right? Is that 2 different things?
No, it's one.
It is
2 pronunciations.
If that's 2 different things, I've literally
English already sucks. We know
I've
that.
lived 33 years not knowing, which wouldn't blow everybody's mind, but you know what I mean. Here's the thing:
no one here, at least.
You and me relate so much on that because Sean and I, like when Sean and I will do like a list or something, I so heavily put the physical experience of the whiskey on that like scorecard for me. Right?
He's a texture guy too.
100%. Like. Avocados absolutely suck because they're just goo or whatever, mush, right? Like it's like baby food. But whiskey's the same. If Sean and I have the same whiskey, we could have the exact same notes, experience. We could write it all down the same. And if the only difference for Sean and I is that I don't like it to be drying and he doesn't mind it that much.
Yeah.
It could be a completely different grading scale for both of us solely because of like that drying aspect of the whiskey. I hate when like a really good whiskey finishes and it's just your mouth is just freaking empty and there's no saliva. It's one of the worst things in the whole world. Like for me.
Also,
cigars and bourbon. It's gotta have a mouth-watering aspect to it.
Yeah, 100%.
We've been really bad with super chats tonight, and I'm sorry. Jay Cawdor asked where we got our big cigar lighters. These are the Alec Bradley Mega Burner. I believe they're available on alecbradley.com.
You only fill that thing up once. You're good for
the rest of your life.
Butane.
They're the greatest free. Okay.
This one's seen some abuse too.
That one has been dropped.
I don't know if everyone can see like how
bent.
Much that bends
so
when I go
bent,
around. Like this is all bent up. It still works though.
I have literally put that thing through and it's fallen off 4-foot cliffs. It's fallen off 5-foot cliffs. I've literally almost well, yeah, for that it's a cliff. If you think perspective wise how tall that is, 5 feet's a long ways. So but those mega burners, we have 2 of them. And other than like if we do like a touch up or something, I don't light cigars with anything if those have butane in them. They're the fucking greatest.
Which they don't.
So there's one on the barrel outside of the door that is currently butaned up, but it's outside the door and I'd have to get up and it's a whole thing. So
you got up to get that one.
I know, but I only had to reach.
Oh, okay.
That's a full blown. I'm out of breath.
Yeah, you're a reacher.
You know, when you go to fill up your propane tank at like U-Haul and they have that like super massive propane tank. Yeah. They have to back that up like just to get as a butane version of that.
That's what I want. I want to get like one of those underneath the table and then like feeds a line like up through the table.
That's a great idea.
You just put a little Bunsen burner in there and just that you use an in-table Bunsen burner.
Idea. I feel like you could definitely implement that to cigar shops without a doubt.
It's just a lifetime burner.
You could just have like all the seats would have individual stations.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we gotta work on like a patent
trademark. Sounds
like
a fire hazard waiting to happen.
No. Somebody else smart enough to figure out a safety system.
They do it for stoves. It's fine.
But yeah, I'm with you. Like viscosity, oil, like
oiliness.
I need thickness. I want 3 or 4 C's minimum.
Yep.
It's just I can't do like the dry whiskey shit. I can't.
Jordan, what do you look for?
That's what I was gonna say. With the smoke wagon it's good, but it is too thin for my liking. A little light in color, and the viscosity isn't quite there. 100 proof, but it's got some nice cinnamon type flavors to it.
Which uncut is or which smoke wagon is that?
It is small batch straight.
Okay.
That's all I see.
So I thought that smoke wagon was the uncut unfiltered.
Oh, well, you just assumed it was that, huh?
The uncut, the bottle looks hyper similar. The uncut unfiltered looks just like that.
I was going to catch up on a couple super chats because we missed a couple. Okay. Tim Gallion said, just cracked a Fable and Folly, Orphan Barrel, and a Caldwell Die Young.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was sitting in my humidor for a while. Probably amazing.
I love like the Caldwell, especially the collaborative Caldwell series. I like those a lot.
Springer said Bourbon Junkies, or is that Blanton Junkies?
It was Blanton Junkies for a long time. One of our only scripted videos ever.
Yeah.
Was me catching a Blanton's that we were intentionally going to break.
Yeah, and then we found out it won, and then we couldn't break it.
We had to rewrite the script on that.
BMF said Nick Jones. Who? Nick Jones. Alex Furlock, recognizing Nick Jones, said he was the one that gifted apparently everyone in our chat a membership, and that's as far as I can go back. That's why I hate you.
So you know what the cool thing is, really quick before we get off Nick Jones, literally gifting 50 memberships. The cool thing is YouTube memberships are different than Twitch subscriptions, gifted ones. YouTube will give them to the most active people around the channel and in chat. So like Nick gifted 50, and that's why some are still coming through because it's giving them to active people, not just random who aren't even watching or whatever, which is really cool. So anyways, but yeah,
I feel like I'm getting ripped off because I'm on the show, but I could be active, getting a free.
All you gotta do is you get a bot in there. You don't have to say actual words. Just type send.
But what does the membership get you?
Croatian bot.
So the members basically like they have like the BJ next to their name in chat. Their name is green instead of gray in chat. And then they can basically send like a highlighted message once a month, and then they get all of the emotes that we've had our illustrator make that have just like dumb shit one of us have done or dumb sayings. Like just like little extra like kind of trinkets, right? Like there's somebody just posted like the cat, like we have a black cat here. His name's Cookie. So like Cookie Cat's an emote. So like if Cookie like often jumps on the table and puts his ass in the camera.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
I got to edit that on Friday's video because shot that today. And of course he did that.
Sean and I are shooting a video today. Cat, not in the whole video. We get up to like look for a bottle. I open the door. He runs in, jumps on the table, and just bubbles to the camera.
Straight down the barrel.
I can't resist.
Thanks,
those
buddy.
cats.
You should just leave it and blur it. Is what you should do.
Oh, so much work.
Hey, you guys, when I was talking to Aaron from Smoke Wagon, I asked him, I was like, because I knew he sourced his stuff from MGP or whatever, and I was like, are you ever gonna you ever plan on like, you know, distilling your own or whatever? And he was like, no, like I don't ever plan on doing that. Like I get what I want from MGP, and then I put it in barrels and I have fun with it from there. Like I don't want to get into that realm. And that got me thinking, Jordan, and maybe you guys can think about this too. How do you compare that to the cigar world? Like there's cigar companies that are vertically integrated, you guys, and they grow their own tobacco. Obviously, they process their own tobacco, and then they roll their own tobacco. They make their own boxes. They do they do the entire operation. But you can't really do that. You can't really do that in the bourbon world, but you can get closer to it.
Like maybe like Roma Craft. They have their factory and they're buying their. I mean, I don't think they ferment the tobacco though.
Right.
So it'd be like somebody that has their own factory and they also buy the raw tobacco from the farmers and then ferment it themselves.
Right.
I'm trying to think who does that.
Like it's not fair in a way, because like bourbon guys aren't going to be growing their own corn and
Well,
barley.
actually, that's the thing. Actually,
there are a few places that
more
have, like
they call it grain to glass now, is what the distilleries will call it.
Whistle Pig has grain to glass. Starlight does a lot of their stuff grain to glass too.
And a lot of distilleries are actually
sourcing locally,
or pushing, like Sagamore is growing more crop to implement more of their own grain.
They planted their own rye that they're having farmers run the crops for them and then harvest and then using their own stuff. So it's just grain to glass. In the whiskey industry, the wording is grain to glass. And like seemingly the big distilleries don't do it, because I can't imagine the big distilleries make so much whiskey, right? That they're if they own Buffalo
the
Trace
cornfields,
needs half of Iowa.
Yeah, exactly. They'd own a state, and then that state would only produce corn, and then another state would only produce rye. But some of the craft distilleries with smaller volumes are doing grain.
He just said you can't distill and source in Nevada. That's a big reason why Aaron won't do any distillation. He's got a good thing going with MGP.
Yeah, for sure. Huh. Well, here's the other thing. That Aaron is also one of my favorite people. We've only talked to him once. I've talked to him on Instagram like a couple times. He was on here once. He's one of my favorite people because he's unapologetically himself in this industry. Yeah. So the decisions that are made and how they're handled and all that stuff, you like, if Smoke Wagon goes on a live stream, like Smoke Wagon just said, we're discontinuing this line or whatever, right? And then Smoke Wagon goes on a live, like Aaron goes on a live stream. Aaron's not going to go on the live stream and then like apologize to everybody and like dance around all the bullshit. Aaron will go on and be like, we didn't fucking like it, or it wasn't fucking working, or it didn't sell, and that's why we stopped, right?
Aaron, I'll go get this.
Most of the industry isn't like that right now. I'm maybe some of this.
You're a liar.
I used that literally today. Is it not working?
No.
Not watch this. I got the magic touch. I'm like 50 Cent with the magic stick. Come here.
What? Excuse you?
But Aaron, I love Aaron for that, because I think that the industry, first click, damn it.
I think it's empty, buddy. No, I actually think it's empty.
And then it works every time. Okay. It's clogged for sure. It worked literally earlier.
That's got to be Alec's fault.
Yeah. It's Alec told me that he put that one together by himself. So without supervision of an actual adult, that one's it needs probably to be purged at this point.
Now, hey, Dan, are you familiar at all with laws?
Like AD, like out in Colorado?
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah. So me and Jordan we did the tour and got to meet. Got a little private tour. I was a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And that's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool deal, because they want to be like a full distillery. They want to distill their own product, but they want to be a completely Colorado.
Yeah, they source all their grains from Colorado, and it seemed like like they didn't ever want to sell any white liquor before like it was ready. They didn't import it and then like make that transition over. They just waited.
Sure.
And so they just kind of have been doing it like legit, like a Kentucky style. It just took a lot longer.
Jordan, talk about that origins we got.
The Origins was their best, was their like, you know, their crown jewel. I think it was 11-year aged. And it is, you know, it's not like Kentucky bourbon, but it does have this unique kind of has a real oily kind of a texture to it. I haven't been a big fan of theirs previously, but
I don't know
trying like some of their better stuff is actually pretty good.
That's all from, you're talking from Laws?
Right, yeah.
Dude,
I broke it.
Sean broke it. I literally used it. No, because you're gonna fidget with it the whole rest of the time.
That's probably
and it's gonna drive me up the wall.
Sean, just get a Bic. You'll be fine.
Right. Well, we got this. Is this one out?
It's like barely working, buddy.
Gotta go big.
Fuck.
Okay, we have a lighter right here that Sean refuses.
So
to use.
it hit a split. I need a good amount of.
Oh,
yeah. So it looks like Dan stepped on this cigar and then gave it to me. So there's a tiny little split in it. So it went out. I actually need a torch. Which Dan has broke every torch we have.
Every torch we have.
Every torch we have. Like I'm talking dozens.
They all break.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They just do that. That's
We
why
just have like a subscription service of those. They just
I've had the same one for years.
That's a great idea. So we had 80 Laws probably 3-4 years ago, the first time ever. And when we had it, it was definitely young, very craft-esque, I guess I'd say. We had the 4-grain cast strength, I think. Somebody actually went out there and had like brought it back. And that was the only reason we had it, because I think at the time they weren't distributing the cast strength, they're distributing only the non-cast strength 4-grain. And the cast strength we liked way more than the non-cast strength. We actually shot a review and then the hard drive exploded and we never put it out.
That was a bad time.
I haven't had a lot of their stuff since then. What happened, like when there was that really huge craft boom in the whiskey industry that started like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever, everybody needed to cover their overhead, right? Mm-hmm. Because it was so much money to start a distillery. It cost $1 kajillion, right? And that not only did it cost $1 kajillion, but then you needed to wait for like 4 or 5, 6, whatever years or whatever. But now all what's happened seemingly is that like so many of these craft distilleries who gave a shit at the beginning are like killing it now.
Turning out some really good stuff.
There's so much 5-year craft distillate that's actually really, really good now. And there's so much 5 to 6 year craft distillate that's at least as good as MGP's 5 to 6 year distillate. The problem is they don't have the distribution footprint, so not everybody knows about all these places yet. You know,
I think the same kind of thing you could see, I don't know, probably 8-10 years ago in craft beer. Like there were titans of the industry that did certain cool releases, and then there was a huge craft boom, and like a lot of different places doing a lot of cool things, and they've really caught up to the big boys in terms of the quality of products that they're putting out and like the limiteds and stuff like that. And I really think that whiskey is going to follow that same thing, where you're going to see a lot of different crafts putting out some really cool, interesting stuff that's getting some higher age statements and really quality stuff.
Yeah, you just don't notice it in the moment because it takes so long. But by the time that they actually are churning out good stuff, there's not a direct correlation there. Or like beer, a new brewery pops up on our street corner every other week, and they can they could be awesome right off the bat.
Yep. Yeah, immediately. Well, and when like they have a really high demand product, if they choose to, they can brew more of it, right? So. Really, I saw you relit your cigar.
I was going to give it to you to use it.
No, I got this one that just works like a normal lighter, really normal and fine. And
I'm going to pitch that thing if you hand her here.
Where does the kajillion come in the money scale? Is that like after $1 million? It's
pretty high. It's a lot. Pretty high. It's definitely after $1 billion. Okay. I don't know, like kajillion compared to $1 trillion, pretty close numbers if we're being honest.
All right.
Like they're almost kind of seeming made up.
Probably the same, give or take a million. You know what I mean? 1 million's probably the difference. But the thing is, see what I've learned over so many years on Earth
of CTE.
What I've learned through my CTE fish oil therapies are if you just don't know the numbers, if you make them not real, they're relatable. 100%.
Yeah.
Everybody can relate to a kajillion. It's a shit ton. You know what I mean?
1 metric fuck ton.
Clearly, I don't
10 shit tons.
I don't know the actual amount of cost to start a distillery, and if I guess, I'd be wrong. But
that's
if
why I don't believe in the metric system. It's too technical. Just give me some jargon.
We want it to not make sense at some point. You know what I mean?
Okay, I guess. Only you.
Okay,
it's all arbitrary, anyways. Come on.
Right, it's just numbers and whatever. Now that you've both had the bonded would you guys pay like $45 to buy another bottle of Bonded?
Is that what this costs?
Rough. It does in Michigan. I don't know what it is in Colorado.
Yeah. Colorado is probably $30 because that's what a lot of the other states are. Michigan just hates happiness.
I think you're right. It's about 30.
You talk about it because I wasn't even paying attention.
I would say I probably would not buy this again, but not because it's bad, just because there's other bourbons at 30. You know, Elijah Craig,
That's my exact argument.
That I would probably pick first. I mean, heck, I'd pick Old Forester 100.
I'd pick Old Forester over this, especially.
Damn, I use an exact bottle.
Any day.
But I did agree with that.
Yeah,
I did. Sean and I did have an argument about that bottle of whiskey because I said initially we thought it was 35. It's 45 in Michigan. It's 35 everywhere else apparently. I was like, for 35, I would buy this. Like, it's a buy for me. And then Sean was like, but I'd rather have this and this and this and this and this. And like, name like 8 bottles. I said, name one. I like 5 bottles. He named like 8. And then after he got done naming the 8, I'm like, I don't disagree, but I'd still buy it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know if you guys are like we are with cigars. Like, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to smoke the same cigar again, especially because we're in the industry. And so, like, since when you're in the industry, it's, you know, if you're just only smoking the same cigar over and over and over again, you know, you can't really do that. So yeah, like, I think it's a good buy. The Jack Daniel's Bonded, it's a good buy because if you like experimenting and trying it, like, you're not going to be. I guess the bottom line is you're not going to be super disappointed.
No, it's
right. Yeah, that's fair.
Isn't there barrel proof? Not too much. It's about the same price though. I'd get the barrel proof over this.
The barrel proof single barrels are like 60-ish
for us in most of the places, I think.
For most,
but yeah, that'd be way better for sure.
But here's the thing: I would pay up for this. 100%. It's a $15 price difference in Michigan. I would just pay the $15,
and it's not even a thought to spend that $15 extra to get it.
No.
And then your Huckleberry asked if Starlight was eventually going to up the age of the whiskey to keep it 4 to 5 years. That's the reason they've closed their single barrel program down a little bit. They're not accepting a lot of new people because they have so much demand for their stuff right now that they're, you know, having to limit people so they don't run out of stuff that's 4 and 5 years. Christian had talked about that there are certain things that they're going to let age up a while and do some older picks with them, I do believe.
Have you guys had or ever been to Starlight? It's in Indiana.
No.
If you ever get the chance, go.
Really? Tell us about that. I don't know anything about it.
Oh man, so it's so crazy because Starlight,
their heritage, a wine maker, wine making family and farm. They've got a bunch of varietal of grapes and stuff, and then
what of grapes?
Varietal.
Okay,
it's a real word.
No, I know. I just didn't hear it correctly.
Okay,
that's a good word.
And then their father had wanted to get into whiskey making, so they just went on it. And then it's kind of like a generational thing now for the distilling aspect of it, as both sons help run it, and they pretty much do fucking everything.
They know everything.
Yeah, like Christian he's got a dual degree for like viticulture and something else.
They wrote thesis papers on how like spirits
oak influence.
Spirits age in wood.
Super smart.
They're 26 years old. It's the craziest shit in the world.
So they run their whole farm. They do some grain to glass stuff. They do a lot of. They still do wine. They do a really cool whiskey projects that they have. It's such a like. You feel like your family when you're there, really. And they'll take you around the farm. You can kind of look at stuff. The tour that they do there is very cool. If you're ever swinging through Indiana, definitely make it a point to stop there.
We just went and did. That's where one of the places we did our picks were, and there's no better like barrel pick program in the whole whiskey industry right now. And I don't know if they're considered a craft distillery or not.
I would say yes,
but. It's wild. They have like you could go there and taste 15 barrels. Every single barrel will be insanely different, like not even remotely close to one another. Whereas like if you go to MGP and taste 15 barrels, there's definitely differentiation.
Yeah,
but it's far
those
more
15
similar,
the
right?
same run, of,
right?
You know, that hour,
same mash bill, same yeast strain, same run, same distiller, same standard practice, all that. Starlight is such an incredible. It's like Disneyland if Disneyland was real whiskey focused, or in wine focused.
Someone asked a while ago, and I was going to ask you guys. They said favorite morning cigar. Do you guys have like a go-to that, you know, if you're going to sit down with a coffee and bust out some work and have a cigar? Do you have one?
These days, I've been turning to Perdomo Habano Bourbon Barrel Aged Connecticut a lot.
You guys like aged cigars a lot.
That's a great. That's a great pick.
It's only like $8. Like for the price, the value is insane.
You know what's crazy about that cigar? So Perdomo, obviously, they're typically in the top 5 for sales. Like Perdomo's massively huge, right?
Okay.
And they're probably the best. Maybe them and Davidoff are probably the best at merchandising cigars in the whole industry. So they know how to merchandise cigars in retail locations. But you can't hold that. Like some people would say, "Oh, it's just they know how to merchandise, so that's why they sell." The honest to God truth is, they know how to make good cigars as well, and they're very, very affordable. And the cool thing about their bourbon barrel aged cigars is they're not aging the tobacco in those bourbon barrels to get a bourbon flavor. The bourbon flavor is long gone out of those barrels, but they instead use the bourbon barrels to just get an extra heating sort of segment on the tobacco, and there's like a lot of people will say like you can't ferment tobacco twice, right, Jordan? Once it's fermented, it's fermented.
Some guys will say, well, because like Cubans will always tout like, oh, this is triple fermented, and then if you go to like a lot of the factories in Nicaragua, they'll say, oh, that's BS because either a tobacco is fermented or it's not. So there's no triple fermentation. It's just when it's done fermenting, it's fermented. But I think that this is an actual way to have sort of a secondary fermentation, is that they're adding it into you've already gotten what you need out of it in the pilones, and then you add it into the barrel, and that charred oak, it acts sort of like a filter to just add a little more depth to it.
The cool thing about the cigar that Jordan brought up, that Connecticut Perdomo Habano bourbon and barrel aged cigar, is it has this really nice buttery texture to it, like a salty buttery texture.
Ooh,
so that when you have your coffee with that, you have the sweetness from the coffee, and then you have the kind of the salty butter flavor from that cigar.
I'm in.
It's a fantastic, and get this, guys, they're cheap. They're like a $7-8 cigar. It's you can't go wrong with that cigar.
It's a confusing name because it's called Perdomo Habano. The line is called Perdomo Habano, but then not all the wrappers are Habano because it's a Connecticut. So it's a Perdomo Habano bourbon barrel aged Connecticut.
Got to get all the buzzwords on there.
Really makes sense, but it's really good.
That's all that matters.
No one knows what it means.
It's really good.
It's provocative.
It's not important. The meaning. See, it's like Cajillion. It's the exact same ideology.
Okay, so Ty said, he said, just sat down with a whiskey weekend stick, and this was on. Seems like #magic, which fits because he is a magician.
Oh yeah, Ty. Thank you for the super chat, man.
Want that one?
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. And then there were a couple. Sorry. Belbiv DeBove said, I felt like I went on the most intense teacup ride ever about midway through Starlight. That was the guy that at the beginning we said was drunk about 7 times at Starlight.
Oh my gosh.
It's a good time.
Starlight is like a very dangerous place. It was like 105 degrees in the Rick house. We got there at 10.
Yeah.
We got there at 10. We left there at 3:30. So we were there all day.
Food and whiskey
in the Rick house most of the day.
And it was 100.
We went through, I think, 26 barrels while we were there. And that was Bo's first barrel pick.
Yeah.
And Bo was not, and mind you, most barrel picks also aren't like
20.
Usually barrel picks are like, here's your 4, pick one. Do you like it? Yes or no? Leave. Yeah. Starlight is like, hey man, which one do you want to try next? Which one do you want to try next? You want to try that one? This one's like that.
That's the fun part of having the so many different distillers. And they do so many different
7 or 8 cooperages.
Yeah, there's all the different cooperages, so you can get such wild and unique stuff there. I feel like we're really, really selling Starlight today.
It was amazing. We just got back from our trip.
Yeah, that's true.
We just got back on Friday. So,
have you guys ever been to High West's new distillery?
Yes.
We went
it's not new anymore. I don't think. That's the only time we've done a barrel pick.
Is that not their new one?
We went to the one in Park City.
Well, they're both in Park City, but one was like
we went to one on the side of a mountain.
We went
in the mountain. Yeah.
Right. Yes, that was the one.
That was the one we went to.
I'll live there.
We went there when it was being built, and that's the only time we've done a barrel pick, but we didn't ever actually get to sell it.
Beautiful place there.
But it was fun.
Oh no, our first barrel pick we ever did.
Oh yeah, that never happened.
We had a bunch of people over. We recorded everybody doing it individually. Had this idea to have like a final concept of a video of everybody picking the barrels. Everybody kind of picked separately. It would have been a lot of fun. We picked it, never came. It literally never. They literally blended it out and sold it, and we never got it.
Yeah. So, Eric, do you have a stick that you kind of gravitate to in like a morning?
Yeah, I have a few. There's just the standard JRE tobacco Aladino Corojo Classic. It's a great salty cigar with that Corojo. I love the HVC Serie A, which is made out of Aganorsa leaf. That's another really, really good one to have with coffee. Let's see. We made one way back in the day with Quesada called the Dojo Deluxe, and we'd sold out, a long time ago, but I still have a bunch of boxes of that. And that cigar, man, it's so buttery. It's like a buttered toast. So you have your coffee with the buttered toast. Oh,
it's got this like classic perfecto shape that like you'd see like Tom and Jerry smoking, and like,
hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh.
Someone in chat said mine. I don't remember. I think it was Mojo. Kintsugi and Magic Toast from Alec Bradley.
Magic Toast is one of my favorite coffee cigars for real.
Yeah.
Which is it seems so like when you look at a Magic Toast, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah,
and then
it looks like it's gonna rock your world.
Then you smoke it with coffee, you're like, that's fucking great.
The Kintsugi one, it was in our top 10 last year. I think it was number 10.
What's crazy, Jordan, is when I was in Miami last year and I went to meet with Alec and Bradley and the guys at their headquarters, they had a box of Kintsugi sitting there, and so like obviously we all grabbed one. That was the best Kintsugi. It was so freaking good. Like that cigar right then at that time. Yeah. We were busting out some. They were busting out some whiskey for me and stuff like that. Yeah. But there was something about that moment. Like sometimes you have this moment.
Of course,
everything is magical. Yes. Lines up.
Yeah, it was so amazingly good. Like, oh my god.
Steve Damron said smoking a Plasencia Coseca 147. I probably fucking murdered that.
You did. It's clearly he meant Plasencia Coseca.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like a harvest.
Yeah, cosecha is like a harvest. So like.
Oh wow, we both fucked it up.
so you have like the 147, the 148, and the 149 was what was our number 3 or 4 this year?
Top 5, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a really good cigar.
Well, I mean, since we just cracked our Topo Chicos, I know the story. Yes. But you guys should tell Dan the story.
No, I know the story.
Oh.
Are we allowed to talk about it publicly?
I mean, they did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the story from Schmalik Schmadley.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that
about
it was
the Schmish and Schmish.
No, I know about it. Yeah. No, Alec told me about it, and I could have swore there was a hey man DL on that. You know what I mean? Like maybe we don't talk about it out loud all the time.
They talked about it on their show.
Okay,
I promise.
We love Topo Chico so much, and I feel like I feel like we started this trend, at least in the cigar industry. I don't know, probably not, but like we went so far as like we have like these like blind tastings like you guys do with bourbon, I'm sure, where you have it's so hard when you have like 4 or more of them to even with bourbon, once you get past the second or third, you're like you have to go back and try them like a million times. But we did it with water, and like it's 1,000 times harder with water than bourbon. It's just water.
I believe that.
And we we had all these different mineral waters that we could find, and we had like 7 guys, and 6 out of the 7 guys picked Topo Chico. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I could
best.
Holy never imagine that would have happened. I mean, we love.
Do you guys have Perrier in there or no?
Perrier's dog water.
Yeah, we had LaCroix.
It doesn't even
all
come
kinds
close.
of stuff.
Okay, LaCroix is miserable.
LaCroix.
LaCroix is miserable.
It's LaCroix.
LaCroix is like the 8th hand freaking carbonated mineral water.
Yeah, you
I was hoping that
in there
enough.
sometimes, just to...
Is it sparking?
It's not sparking. Alec told me to send that to him. He'll fix it, but it worked literally earlier today. Okay,
so you probably dropped it, so you just gotta move it a little bit closer, and then it just works.
So that's why I worked earlier. I probably pushed really hard.
Yeah.
So anyways, Topo Chico. There's something about Topo Chico that I could stop drinking normal water and only if I could afford it, only drink Topo Chico and be so damn happy, it'd be crazy. Okay, I have a question that because we know so much less about cigars than you guys, but we enjoy them, right? Do you guys consume or smoke a lot from Ezra Zion or Nomad?
No.
Have you guys do you know like okay.
So back in the day, Ezra Zion made some really, really great cigars. Like what was the one, Jordan, with the gold and silver?
It's just like their core Ezra Zion.
Their core Ezra, and it was really, really good. And they were sort of like a legit.
Yeah, like they would actually be made at like Aganorsa leaf.
Yeah.
No, they don't say where they're made anymore. It could still be.
But then they changed somewhere along the line. They changed their business model to just sort of kind of be these super hyper limited micro batch stuff.
Mhm.
And you can't, I mean, some people follow along with that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're into that, that's totally fine. But, for us, a batch of 30 bundles of 10 just doesn't move the needle really.
Doesn't want the beak, right? Yeah.
And
well,
so,
and it does become something. I'm sure it's the same for you guys. Sean and I don't review barrel picks, right? Because if somebody did a barrel pick, we've done a lot of barrel picks now, and if somebody's done a barrel pick, maybe
like one of 150.
Yeah, maybe it was a huge barrel. Maybe the barrel was full, and you got 230 bottles out of it, right? And those 230 bottles went to one place in the whole country, and they weren't shipped anywhere. They were in a store, right? So when you get a barrel pick, it's the same thing where it's like, listen, we love some barrel picks we have are some of our favorite bottles we have, but there's no reason to review them because 200 other people have ever drank them.
Can relate to that,
yeah. Right. And the same thing happens with cigars. Like there's 3 or 4 companies that sort of do that nowadays.
Okay.
And it works great for them, and it's a fun thing for their fans, I'm sure, that love following along and whatnot, and getting all these sort of like super hyper limited kind of things. But in the end, we can't review those. We can't really get into that because it's just too limited. It's like having, it's like the baseball card that's so limited that it's almost worth nothing at that point.
It's a fun one-off every now and then.
You're a niche in a niche, right? Yeah. That's a niche cigar inside the industry of a niche, right? Like, it is the same. It's the same. What you just said is the same reason we don't review barrel picks. But honestly, there's this. So somebody on the channel, definitely not me for sure. I had nothing to do with it. Nicknamed me the Savant because I'm was at one point super good at drinking whiskey blind and picking things out really well and whatever. Won a bunch of shit. It wasn't a big deal. So anyways, so I'm almost.
So I just got super chatted by my biggest fan. Has Sean started lifting weights again? Looking swole AF. Also, thanks for letting Dan win this month so we can keep enjoying poor guesses.
So Sean and I do competitions often usually. And a lot of them are blind or whatever, right? Well, I really didn't come up with a nickname, but I did really run with the nickname. And I was just going to say dumb shit until Sean interrupted me. But
I sensed it.
Ezra made a cigar and they called it the Savant. And so somebody sent me a 5-pack of them. And the first one I smoked, I'm like, damn it, I'm in love with this cigar. And I don't care if it's placebo or not. I literally don't care, right?
All placebo.
So I went to smoke my last one of the 5-pack because, like you said, all of that stuff is the hyper limited shit, right? So I went to smoke my last one, and I cut it with a straight cutter, and it just full blown cracked down the whole cap, it blew the cap off, and not to the point where I could lick it and it would be better, to the point where it was just not anymore on a cigar, right?
Scotch tape, bro.
And I looked at that cigar and I thought, this is my last fucking one. And so I took a straight cutter and I cut the whole fucking cap off. I smoked the whole cigar. I have no regret.
Why don't you humidify some of your cigars? Jesus.
Dude, it was, in theory, it was humidified. It was in the humidifier, the thinger.
You put some masking tape on there. Just get it back together sometimes.
Yeah. It was.
Hey, if you enjoyed it, it doesn't matter.
People like to downplay the placebo. I say you embrace it. If Coke tastes better in a glass bottle, then it tases better. If the same thing with milk, you get milk in a glass bottle, it just tastes better.
So much better
than the standard milk. And I don't care what went into that. It tastes better for me. Then it tastes better.
And on top of that point, because I 100% agree with that point, I make the argument that often, because we blind stuff really often, and it just removes the bias, right? If you can remove the bias and that's what you're going for, that's a great thing. The problem is when you have really special bottles, if you have never had Pappy 23 or whatever, and you get a bottle of Pappy 23, then you should drink it with the bottle right in front of your fucking face.
Yeah,
you should fully absorb the fact that insane label and that insane unicorn and that thing that's worth $4,000, whether you paid that or not, you should just enjoy it staring at it, right? Because the placebo effect of Pappy is it's a fucking Pappy.
Yeah.
And that's got to be good whiskey, no matter what, right?
If people pay that much for it, it must be good.
And you should enjoy it. Sometimes you should enjoy it in that fashion 100%.
Does Pappy taste better when you pay the $2,000 or the $75?
Way better when you pay the $75.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel like an asshole for drinking it. We got the only old rip we've ever had. We paid 75 or 80 for, whatever.
Yeah, retail. We got it out of a raffle, like a rare whiskey raffle.
They used to do them in Michigan, and you would go, and it was free to enter, and everybody that walked through the door get one 50-50 ticket. So you could win one time. That was your max, right? If they called your ticket. And then if you won or whatever, your name was drawn, you could walk up to the front and pay MSRP for it. And so we won an Old Rip 10 and a Pappy 23.
Yeah.
And we drank both of them. Both are since empty.
Perished.
But it was one of those things where like it was sucked when they're gone because it was like we're not going to get another one for $75.
And we were right.
Like $250 for the Pappy 23 or whatever it was. But it was one of those things where it was like, yeah, we like us like unwrapping the seal on the top. We're not like, fuck. You know what I mean?
It's 2000.
When we uncork this, literal gold better come out. Like 100%. But
Alec also commented, I don't think he said that's why exclusively V-cut, Dan. That would never have happened.
All right. What's your take on V-cuts? I need to know your guys' take on V-cuts.
V-cuts are like the second best cut in my opinion.
Okay.
All right.
I like that.
It's the second best cut. It's good. So here's my thing, and I'll let Jordan say his thing, but I like to taste the cut tobacco on my tongue. Like that's part of the enjoyment for me is
interesting.
Is getting the salt off of the tobacco, like the literal tobacco. So I like to. So the more surface area I can have there, the better for me. So to me, it's a straight cut. Then then it goes to the V cut. Then it goes to punch, and then there's a million other weird things.
Yeah,
but
I
think.
I basically
rip it off your fingernails.
I'll do a V
fingernails
cut.
is fine because you end up kind of with a straight cut if you just
you have the Cuban style where you just kind of like you just bite the barely and then twist it. That's how Eric Espinosa does them. But I do the V cut like only if it's box pressed or like front pressed, kind of like an oval shape.
Oh, there's something magical about a V cut across the box.
Yeah,
box pressed cigar. He's like,
helps keep the construction together a little bit better than with the traditional cut. You're kind of changing the shape of the cigar as you cut it a little bit, so it can sometimes explode. So I go V cut sometimes under the box.
Okay, Alec would rather kiss me on my mouth than V-cut a cigar, without a doubt.
That's accurate.
He's 100% a liar. So he just said in chat, nails, straight cut, punch. That's
the scary thing about that, Dan, is he probably loves to V-cut cigars. So maybe that's like an offer.
He just wants to kiss you.
And that's why every time we meet, he goes in for it 100%. You know what I mean?
No, just kidding. That one time you're gonna slip up.
I don't know if you guys have ever met Alan, their father.
I've talked to him, but never met him.
I got to tell you guys the Alan story. Like,
he seemed like a mafia boss.
So yeah, like that's kind of like the way. That's sort of like the way I had him in my.
You only see him in like cigar aficionado
in my mind. Like I had him that way in my mind for like a long time, and then we were there, right, Jordan? It was, I don't know, this is like 6-7 years ago or something. Mm-hmm. We were there, and so we were going to interview Alan that night, and then the boys afterwards or whatever. Alan is the coolest, most normal dude you've ever met in your life. He's hilarious. He's like, it blew my preconception out of the water. Like, the guy is just so cool. He's just such a regular dude. Like,
he's always got a bottle of Weller 107 for you after the show.
Yeah.
Man, that's Mountain Heart right there.
He's an amazing guy. Amazing guy.
I wonder what wrong with Alec then. I mean, Bradley seems that way.
Bradley's pretty normal, yeah.
Bradley with that, no, we're not saying that Bradley with the mullet and that porn stash is a normal.
Yeah.
Oh man,
is completely normal.
Best stash in the biz.
That is the wildest stash. So the stash was wild without the mullet, but now he's rocking a full mullet right now.
Hey, bro, that's the style right now,
dude.
He's just a man of fashion, okay?
That man,
and he'll go to the trade shows. He'll have like, what's the Texas like?
A bolo.
Yeah.
Rocking. It's insane.
Dude, that
majestic.
That whole get up is incredible, honestly. And you know why he does it is because Alec is definitely louder than him, right? So he walks in like kind of like under the radar, but then you see him and you're like, I got to talk to that guy. He's got to be interesting. He literally has to be.
So on their live stream, they asked who would win in a fight between Alec and Bradley.
Yeah,
and it was pretty split. I don't think they'll ask that question to us. Because the audience came in.
I'll lay on Sean.
Yeah.
I'll just lay on Sean.
Dan's 2x my size.
I just lay on him. Sean can't get me off of him. I'll just lay on top of him. There's no violence. It's just smothering.
Hey, little fella.
Okay, wait. We had because we were talking about this earlier, right before we started. You guys do the thing called. Oh, Alex said he bought Bradley that bolo tie. That's cool that he wore it though.
I just showing his brother support.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
I'm gonna buy you a bolo tie.
Listen, I'll try and
You're
rock
probably
it.
gonna strangle yourself. So
100%. Somebody's gonna have to tie it for me.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
it's just one rope, and just with a slider.
I need an adult. Okay, so you guys, when we were on your guys' stream, you asked us about the hot dog thing, right?
Right.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah, that's what the question was.
That was the deep thought.
Okay, a while back, somebody
Okay,
asked
here's
us,
our shallow thought that we told you that was gonna come.
it was a while back, somebody randomly, and this was like off the rip of a stream. We just started the stream. Somehow Sean and I's eye caught in chat somebody asking this question, and then Sean and I argued about it for like 30 freaking minutes.
About an hour.
It was ridiculously long. Everybody in chat was like, please stop talking about this and drink whiskey or do something else.
Yeah.
So the question was, what was it? Joey Chestnut?
Joey
Do
Chestnut.
you know who
and
Joey
Usain Bolt.
Chestnut is?
Yeah. He's the world hot dog eating champion.
Yep.
Professional eater.
There you go.
You guys know who Usain Bolt is? The fastest human being ever to live on planet Earth, basically.
Cheetah.
Probably an
Half
alien.
cheetah. Yeah.
You know, whatever. This is the debate. The debate is if they had to eat a hot dog and then run a 100-meter dash. Who
would
wins
win?
At the end? At the finish line's at the end of the 100 meters. Hot dog is first into a sprint.
Just one hot dog?
Yep, one hot dog.
Oh,
Usain Bolt.
yeah, he would kill.
There.
Thank
That's
you.
not even
Holy
a question.
shit.
He was like, Joey
That's not a
Chestnut was going to
question.
put a hot dog in 2 seconds. I said, no, that's not a real time.
Apparently it is, though.
I
The
don't know.
hot dog debate part is going to be, 2-second difference, and then after that, you know,
Dude, Usain Bolt
He's
is a
gonna tear it up.
giant man.
Dude, Joey Chestnut, he would run the 40 in like 37 seconds. So as long as Usain Bolt could eat a hot dog in 5 seconds, like there's not even a question.
100%.
That's what the argument came down to is how fast can
Usain
Usain Bolt
Bolt
eat a hot dog, not how fast anything else can happen, right? Because on the foot race, I did think I got
You
Joey
thought you were
Chestnut mixed up.
Kobayashi.
I was thinking of Kobayashi, who's in really good shape
He's jacked.
and a professional eater.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's probably pretty fast, right? I didn't realize Joey Chestnut wasn't the guy that was in really good shape.
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, Kobayashi's like got a 6-pack.
Oh,
like,
he's
shredded.
ripped. Yeah,
So I'm like, that guy could definitely run probably like a 13-second 100.
maybe.
And Usain Bolt runs like after a
9?
hot dog a 10.
Oh, it's still a
You
9.
think it's a
Oh,
9 in
yeah.
tennis shoes?
Oh, for sure,
Might be a
buddy.
9.
Have
But-
you guys ever seen that thing? I don't know if it's like the Boston Red Sox or some baseball team, and they have this
The Flash or
The
the,
Flash.
Freeze. Yeah,
and they
the Freeze or
let
whatever it is.
like a fan. They give him like a 30-second head start.
Oh, yeah.
They
And then-
basically
That's
start
wild.
like halfway around the outfield, and then their guy takes off and he fucking demolishes
That's
everyone.
wild.
He wins by like 40 yards at the end. Like that,
Dude.
there's like a certain, there's like a certain gate to those runners that
Yeah.
you just can't beat them. And
The
there's no,
Braves is what someone
there's-
said.
Well, in those, but that race is pretty long because they
I
run
mean,
around the outside of the
Yeah,
field.
that's a long little
So
sprint for most people.
realistically, unless you're in pretty good shape, you're
Yeah.
tired halfway through that. That guy running that is so fucking fast.
Yeah,
it's
buddy, they're not
crazy.
pulling out Elliot Kipchoge to fucking run against,
Dude.
man. They're getting the guy that's slamming fucking hot dogs, drinking 3 beers, and they're like, that guy.
Yeah, guy stumbles onto the field
Yeah.
half drunk. Yeah, 100%.
Joey Chestnut, 10 yards into the run, he's going to be
Gapped.
He's just exhausted.
He was like, can I just eat 12 hot dogs and versus your one in the 100? We'll see what happens.
That might be a good
That's
race.
the actual play.
So we're doing an event in August, and at the event we've been talking about maybe roping off. 100 seems a little far for people who don't run a lot.
You?
Yeah.
A bet was made.
A bet was made that I would eat a hot dog and run that race faster than everybody else.
Not happening.
But I could.
They're out.
fast
I
do you think you
they're
can eat a
still
hot
there
dog?
training.
I'm practicing eating hot dogs.
Yeah,
So-
You dip them in the water?
No.
Even
See,
for a
here's the
live
problem.
stream, that joke would get
That's
us
the question. I
I'll
want to know how fast you guys think that you could eat a hot dog, and
dude.
it's got to be out of your mouth, like
you
the
got to
whole
chew and
thing's-
swallow.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Chew and swallow.
Whole
What do
thing.
you, what's your guess on how fast you could eat a hot dog? I'm trying to think in my own mind.
I said
I
10
bet-
seconds.
Probably like 15 seconds.
I'm thinking 8.
8.
No, there's
take
no
over on that,
fucking
buddy.
way.
There's no fucking way.
No.
You can really open your throat, but I don't think it's happening. Oh, come on. We can't joke around this fucking shit that long and not have one joke.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Oh, I do 8. That was 2 seconds.
Okay, open your. That was not 2 seconds.
Just give or
Open
take.
your stopwatch on your phone and watch
Here's the
2
thing.
seconds, and you were like, "Oh wow."
And then just pretend like you're doing it.
You think it's you thought you said 15 seconds?
Maybe like 3 bites, maybe.
Conservatively,
See,
yeah.
3
I
bites,
think
100%.
But you gotta chew it and swallow it.
I know, but
Dan's doing hot dog 1
10
bite.
seconds.
See, there's a
choking hazard.
Yeah, Kelly said this is a terrible idea, but here's the thing. Well, maybe we can find
there'll be a
paramedic.
waiver. There'll be a waiver.
Yeah, maybe a paramedic's there.
Now
Someone
you guys
that at least knows the Heimlich.
Yeah, you need somebody there. Now, when we also do an event in August leading up to Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest, and we have a massive cornhole tournament.
Oh, hell yeah.
It is literally legendary. Like guys from the industry, Eric Espinoza, Tommy Lazuka, Terrence Riley, like all these guys have participated. Now, Jordan, 2 years ago, I was the champ with Emmett Malone.
Oh, shit.
Last year, I was the champ.
And last year, Jordan was
a little rivalry there.
Now we're gonna get this year. We're gonna like commission a little mini Stanley Cup, and then from now on, we'll like add each team's name onto the rings as we go.
So
I love that.
Like a lot of drinking games, you got to have like a drink in your hand. So do you guys have to have like a cigar in your hand while you're playing?
Oh, we just
You don't have to,
anyways.
but of course you will. Yeah,
But everybody does.
it helps balance you out. You know, you gotta have
Oh yeah, for sure.
a cigar and one
Weight
hand.
distribution.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
need the heaviest cigar I can possibly find because the bag is dressed. He's got a bundle of cigars.
You're just getting a like a max.
I'll just get like an Alec and Bradley Texas Lancero. It's like
There you go.
37 pounds in one
Yep.
hand.
It's 10 fucking tobacco plants put together just to make that fucker.
So that's one of the games that we're gonna have at the event in August is a cornhole. That
Yes.
A local brewery is gonna sponsor that. And then which I haven't even talked to Sean about because I just bought it tonight. I just bought our second game that we're gonna have people be able to sign up for because
What is it?
And maybe I'm sure it's 100% got to be the same in cigars. Everybody in cigars or everybody in whiskey and probably cigars loves golf, right?
Yep.
Like,
Oh, did you buy one of the chipping ones?
dude, but
Oh shit.
it's like, so I bought 4 of them, right? So we have a little tournament, but there's going to be 4 of these. It's a chipping golf thing, but it's like a topographical map, and the golf balls have Velcro on them, and so you can like rip 4 people on each map. Basically,
Oh, okay.
it's so freaking cool. I just saw them on TikTok like 3 months ago, but they've been sold out. I've
Targeted
been on a
ads, yep.
waiting list
Target ads.
for
Yep.
3 months,
Dan,
and they're
you're on
finally in.
you're on TikTok, Dan. Is that what I
Don't
heard
be
you
on
say?
I
TikTok.
think I'm too old. I listen to a lot of music on TikTok.
I told my wife this.
Oh,
There's 2 months
I'm just on
TikTok.
TikTok for the music. Is that what
You
it
want to
is?
give all your data to China? Come on!
It's everyone
They
that's
already got
under
it.
the age of 16 or over the age of 30. Like those are the 2 swings you have there.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Now listen, TikTok comments, most toxic place on the whole internet, bar none. Like Twitter literally looks like a playground for kids compared to TikTok
What's going on
comments.
outside?
Holy shit, it's crazy. But if you stay out of the comments, there's some like entertaining shit over there. You know,
For sure.
The
now is there
algorithms
data
are
everywhere?
collective.
Of course it is. You know what I mean?
When is your guys' event in August?
It's in August 20th.
It's a little close to ours. So I was gonna say maybe me and you go and be in that cornhole tournament together.
We tear it up.
We
There's
tear it
no
up.
sense.
Sounds like you'd win from the sounds of things already.
Listen, I'm not a cornhole guy, but I will be there harassing everybody while they're playing. 100%. So,
1000%.
yeah.
We practice like a surprising amount of times. It's kind of sad.
You can't know you got it though, because now if you're gonna win a tournament, you can't
You gotta
come in
defend
like
the cup. Yeah.
you can't like be throwing bags and missing the fucking board. This is the
That's
problem.
our skills.
Yeah, the problem is they're like, damn, play cornhole. I'm like, cool, and I throw it 14 feet farther than the board, and I'm like, I shouldn't be over here. I won't do the putting or the chipping thing either.
I think you'd be good up and down. It's going to be your left and right.
Buddy,
That's going to be a real
it's
issue.
just- it's
It's gonna be a hazard for people.
I think in that part of the country where you guys are, Michigan,
Yeah.
there's probably going to be some dudes that can play pretty well. Because Tommy
the Midwest is bored.
Tommy Lazuka, he's the guy from CLE and Asylum, cigars. He's from Detroit, and that freaking dude can play. He can play cornhole, man. I'm telling you,
We got
he's
nothing
awesome.
fucking else, man. It's gray 6 months out of the year. So, or 6 months out of the year? Wow, I nailed it, I guess.
Give or take.
Yeah. But like that's all we got. We got, like Dan said, 3 months of summer, and during those months, we're outside as much as we can because we know the sun's going away soon
for weeks.
Yeah,
for weeks.
And then it's like, all right, let's play some boards.
See, that's one of the things that I love about Colorado. We used to go to Colorado a lot. We went last year again. One of the things I love about Colorado is you can go to Colorado in the winter and still see like blue skies and the sun and beautiful mountains. And here it's super flat. And
we got hills.
Like last winter, I think we went like 19 days without any sun at all. Like it's just fucking none.
We're like clinically depressed, as they would say.
But everybody is really good at cornhole because they're bored as hell. So they just play cornhole. You can play cornhole inside. It's freaking incredible.
Oh man, the next time you are here, we need you right here in studio. Yes. We want you, either both of you or one of you. I don't care. You guys come this way, man. We want you guys.
Dan Diego takes up a lot of room.
Make some sort of bet.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
It'd be a blast.
Have you guys been to Mythology?
No.
I have some of their gin sitting right over there.
So they actually distill that gin. They don't distill any. It's kind of like Aaron, right? So they don't distill any whiskey at this point. It's all sourced. It's not all from MGP, but they source from MGP and then elsewhere. But the guys over at Mythology, smaller distiller, far smaller. I don't know how big AD is. I think far smaller than like Stranahan's and Breckenridge. But dude, the people at Mythology are freaking awesome. They're just great. They really are.
I got to go check that out then, because the gin was really good. Yeah,
their bar is really cool. So randomly, I started talking to the blender over at Mythology, and so I fell in love with Mythology because I believe his name was Steve or Kyle. When the main blender left High West, he actually went to Mythology. So when Constellation bought High West, they had a lot of blenders and distillers leave High West at that point in time. When
the great exit.
Steve or Kyle, whichever. I wish I could remember. I should remember.
Steve, Kyle. It's pretty much the same.
Super close.
When Steve and Kyle, when he left High West, he went to Mythology and actually implemented a lot of the ideology from Mythology at High West. So they do burr ryes, like American whiskey, that are bourbon and rye blends. They do wine finish whiskey. They do a lot of stuff like that, but they don't distill any of it, right? So it's all sourced, and then the blending is kind of the focus rather than the distilling. The Mythology is one of my favorite group of people for sure. So,
Scotty, do you need some more whiskey? It's right here.
Scotty's got to need whiskey.
Gotta keep the audience happy.
Cigar's got to have some whiskey tonight. That's the rules.
We have all the whiskey right in front of us.
I would
I
go
felt bad.
This lineup. I haven't had the knob. I'm not going to count the knob, but I'll go Jack Daniel's Early Times Smoke Wagon so far.
That's your favorites?
Yeah, that's the order.
So you like Jack Daniel's better than the Early Times?
Yeah.
Better than the Smoke Wagon?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you hold on? Did we really not bring anything from the closet at all?
Nah. Because you know
well,
what?
how many times can we do that?
Jordan felt
every time.
We'll take it every time.
Every single time.
No,
I hated that. Like before the show, he's like, "We're going to show off all this." I was like,
Jordan hated that episode because he was like, really? "I feel like such a douchebag." Like,
no, it was
these guys actually know bourbon, and we're gonna like try to like look at our stuff though.
No.
Yeah, but everyone that was in whiskey in that era of availability 10 years ago has that type of stuff.
But the difference is you're a douchebag if you're a douchebag about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, it's not like, oh, look what I got.
Owning it doesn't make you the douchebag, right? It's
well, apparently it does. Sorry. Next topic.
I remember we got all that in like 2011 or 12, but like the year before struck out, like somebody just told me about it, and I just went to like the local place that had the crap stuff, and I was like, "I'll take one bottle of Pappy Van Winkle, please." And they were like, "No."
They're like, "Right away, sir."
You know what I mean?
So I regrouped. The next year. We got it.
Hey, everybody's been through that shit. That's for sure.
I keep trying to do that at liquor stores, and they just tell me to leave.
Yeah.
We have a friend who started a whole trend. His name is he has a YouTube channel called ADHD Whiskey. He doesn't like when I say his name. He told me that. I always call him Matt because we're friends with
Matthew Porter.
But his YouTube channel isn't Matt, right? So unfortunately, he's like, don't call me Matt because then nobody knows who you're talking about. So his channel name's ADHD Whiskey. He started a whole trend that was like, what was the
Bring me to Pappy.
Bring me to Pappy. And he was like, just walk in the store and just say, bring me to Pappy, and just see what happens. So like people are watching his channel, walking into liquor stores. I'm sure liquor store owners are like, who the fuck started this bullshit, dude?
I got a question for you guys, for you two. out of all the whiskey and bourbon that's sitting behind you, or that you may have at your house or wherever that is in your possession, the whiskey or bourbon that's in your possession, what is the one bottle that you want to milk the longest? Like that particular bottle, I don't want it to ever go away.
That's a better question than what is your favorite whiskey. That's such a better phrased.
Yep.
It's a similar question, but it's phrased so much better.
Yeah. I think for me, it's King Kentucky.
Really? What's that? No, I don't even know what that is.
So that is Brown-Forman release that they do yearly, but it's super hyper limited. Cask strength, usually like sub 3,000 bottles, I think, or something like that.
They're all single barrels.
Yeah,
right?
But so yeah, they do a bunch. Yeah, they do a handful of single barrels, and they're, I think, hands down the best thing that Brown-Forman puts out.
Wow,
unequivocally.
What about you, Dan?
Oh, you think Coy Hill's better?
I'm just wondering how close it is.
Oh, it's not even.
I'm not saying it's way better.
Not even.
President's Choice?
Maybe.
Okay.
Those would be the two tops of mine. Would be President's Choice and then King Kentucky.
Okay. Mine has to do way more with nostalgia and just less about how like incredible the
Elmer
whiskey
Cool
is.
Next.
No, it's not Elmer T. Lee.
Right.
You're gonna really like this if they do. So, anyways,
can't wait.
Mine is Midwinter Night's Dream Act 9. Which is a new bottle, new release or whatever. Well, it was 2021's release from High West.
Is it because we were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's because of how the trip came together, because of like Ricky. So my wife spent a bunch of time doing this thing, and it was a surprise, and we ended up being at the distillery when they dropped it, and it was like it's this whole thing. But it has all to do with like emotion. If I was just going straight up whiskey in the bottle, like just because I want to drink it, not because of like emotional attachment, it'd probably be a Black Label Pingree.
Oh, that's a good one.
Which are so because they're not outside of Michigan. So the Black Label Pingree, Valentine is a distillery in Michigan, and Valentine sourced a bunch of MGP a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then like a few years back,
and they sat on a lot of it.
They sat on a ton of it. And then a few years back, like a bunch of distilleries were dumping like crazy high age statement MGP barrels, right?
12
like Boone
plus
County
year,
and Blombros and all these distilleries were dumping like these freaking 14-year-old MGP barrel proofs. They're all like 110 proof, low cask strength, fucking incredible. Some of the best whiskey that's come out since we've been into whiskey, period.
Yep.
We still have, if I still had my Boone County 14 year, that would have been the one without a doubt, hands down, bar none. It was the Boone County 14 year, but we killed it. We drank it all. Now that we don't have that, it would 100% be one of the Black Label Mayor Pingrees, which the blender from the Valentine Distillery in Michigan, he takes some of the hyper-aged MGP barrels they have, and he blends them together. Usually they're about 3 barrels. And so there's a 3-barrel blend over there that's probably my favorite one I've ever had. And it's like, I don't know, it's about half gone. That would probably be the one.
Well, if we're going off nostalgia, then I would have to go a Blue Label Pingree that I got at my wedding. It was the first bottle of whiskey. So the Blue Labels were their single barrel projects of that old stock that Dan was talking about. It was the first bottle of whiskey that my wife was like, didn't instantly try it and just, wince at. She goes, oh, that's pretty good.
And it was barrel proof.
Yeah.
It's like 109 or something like that.
Oh, it's more than that.
Is it more than
it's
that?
like 120 something.
Really? It's
like 124.
Damn, that's high for them.
And so I sourced one secondary for our wedding. So we used a little time capsule and we sealed it.
Source it. I found it.
Yeah, Dan did find it.
I'm such a good friend that I knew that him and his wife loved it.
It was that. I mean, so it was that exact barrel, everything.
It was, which is wild. Actually.
Yeah. And then we sealed that away, and then we only break it out for like our anniversary. Yeah.
Oh,
we opened it on our first anniversary.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you guys opened. That's cool.
Because we sealed it up with letters to each other to open on our first anniversary.
Oh wow. Gabby's. His wife said, "Damn, I shouldn't have done this." That's all it said.
It was actually 3 words on a card. Mistakes were made. And I was like, what the fuck? It was great because it was supposed to be the unity ceremony of us like putting our letters in there and like nailing it shut. And my wife turned to her maid of honor and goes, where's my letter? And she goes, I don't have it. I looked at my best man and I go, you got yours? He goes, right here. And I go, all right, look who's prepared now. Yep. We had to like fake close it, so like we didn't drive the nails in. So he's like, oh, look at us go.
Did you guys open the letters already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
First anniversary, dude.
Well, I didn't know if you were waiting. Some people wait like 10, whatever. You know what I mean?
We wanted to do it first anniversary, some nostalgia. That would be my bottle.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask the same question to Jordan, except I want to change it a little.
What?
I want to change it
Which
just
one do you
slightly.
want back?
What cigar in like you have as many cooladors as I do in your basement, like filled with stuff.
I don't hold on to.
But is there a cigar that you're like, oh god, I don't ever want to smoke that last one because it's so good? I have one in my head.
I don't like treat cigars in that same. I used to be like treating cigars in the same way as I would treat the bourbon, but nowadays I kind of just go through it, continuously changing humidor. So maybe like one of the old Cohiba Bahikis from back in the day.
I have one. I think that you're gonna change your answer. That Davidoff Diademus 50.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Forgot I had that.
That is.
that.
They made these a few years ago, right, Jordan?
There's only like 3 left though.
There's only like 3 left. They made them. It was like in a circular kind of like a humidor type of thing, right? And it was a Davidoff Diademus 50. It's like a big cigar, you guys. It's like a double perfecto. That cigar was so freaking phenomenal. It was it blew our mind.
It's tied for the highest rated we've ever given, 96.
Yeah.
Really?
Wait, and it's that big of a cigar too, though.
That's so
like
incredible.
an undertaking.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
What are you doing this afternoon?
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
When you guys come to the studio, maybe there'll be one left that we can share with you. But
Listen, Sean and I have shared cigars. We're not above that. So,
I just can do rock, paper, scissors. I know you suck at that.
Yeah, I do suck at rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, so then.
What do you guys do whiskey wise, though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
The same kind of question.
Yeah.
Same question.
Okay.
Anything you're afraid to drink the last drop of?
Well, I have this Willett Family Estate bourbon, which I never find anymore. I can't remember. I think it's like 11 years, and I have like Pappy's and a lot of the antique collection and stuff, but that one I just never ever see anymore. So I think that would be the one. Even it's about half gone at this point.
Yeah,
that
I mean, you can find money now.
You just got to spend a metric fuck ton of money.
Worth a shit ton of money now.
Yeah, I it's about half gone. That thing, the viscosity on it is insane.
That's awesome.
I think for me, it's so I have a few bottles of Pappy 15 still, but I have that one with that we got in like 2011, and I just refused to open that bottle.
You found a Pappy Rye that one time.
So we got to tell you guys the story. So like we go to visit my brother in Jacksonville, Florida, right? And we're like, like at the time, this is how long ago, Jordan?
This would be like 2013, I would say.
2013-ish. And my brother lives in Jacksonville. He lives in Ponte Vedra. It's a little south of Jacksonville or whatever. And I was like, hey, Mitch, like, do you have any liquor stores that you like that have some stuff? And he's like, I got this crazy little liquor store. This guy, I don't even know if he knows what he has, but he has a bunch of really cool stuff. Maybe you guys should come check it out and see what he has. So we go in there. Dan, Sean, I swear to God, this is the honest to God truth. I know you're never going to believe this story, but it's so crazy. Just on the shelf, like not even behind the counter. Every single antique collection is just on the shelf. Yeah. Pappy's is on the shelf. So like these guys get a bunch, and I go to the guy and I was like, "Do you have anything like behind the shelf that
is there something crazy?
Yeah, what are you? This is on the shelf.
Even though the BTAC's out, what else you got? You know,
and make acceleration here.
So I had already grabbed like a stag or something from the shelf. I was like, "Do you have anything else behind?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got this. I got the Pappy Rye right here." And I'm like, "Yes!" I'm like, "Give me that." So like I got the Pappy Rye. I got like a couple other things. Like it was the most bizarre, like like the dream sequence that you have where you're like in the middle of the night and you're like thinking like this crazy dream where you walk in and there's just gold bars sitting on the floor.
Yeah,
like, that's exactly what that was. And
I have those bourbon dreams a lot.
100%.
Surprisingly amount of
100%. It's super unhealthy though, right?
Like
you're not supposed to have them, but
then you wake up, you're just sad. Like, I didn't have them.
I found an Angular 17 for retail in my dream once, woke up and literally just about punched the wall.
And then there was no thought, like, was that a dream? You're like, that's definitely a fucking dream.
I was so sad when I woke up.
Do you guys like, are cigars like bourbon in the sense that like, do you guys hunt them? Do you go out and like search for different releases or anything like that?
A lot of guys do. We got some groups on the Dojoverse that are just dedicated to that kind of stuff, in search of kind of groups. But these days, I don't anymore. I just am. There's so much coming out. I'm just always smoking the newest. But it would be, probably something like usually the Fuentes occupy that kind of space with like maybe like the Purple Rain or something like that. You find one of those cigars are a couple $100.
Now, recently, boys, this is an interesting story for you guys because this happened just in the last couple months. Caldwell, they do the Lost and Found series, right?
Yeah.
And so they find, it's a little bit like the Ezra Zion thing, except for like on a higher level, where they find older stuff that's been like hidden away in aging rooms and whatnot. Yep. And they came up with this thing called the antique line, and there's like 4 or 5 of them, right, Jordan? Yep. And one of them was the 2014 Lost and Found 2014 antique line. It was so amazing. And I literally scrambled the internet trying to find that box because it was so good. So yeah, occasionally, to answer your question, we do some of that, but it has to really be something special. And that Caldwell Lost and Found antique line, if you guys can find that anywhere online, if you're watching the show right now,
has them, guys.
Yeah, if you're watching the show right now and you can find the Caldwell Lost and Found antique line 2014 or 2006, but the 2014 is
you reached out to Robert and you were like,
yeah,
whoa, what's going on here? And he was like, the 2006 is the best one. So we got that too, and it's really good. But still, I think that 2014 was better.
Yeah, it was.
To
answer your question, occasionally we do that. So.
Okay.
They started the Lost and Found series in 2000 before 2006.
I would peg it
like the age of it, right?
Yeah. So they're just finding these, and that's the age of that particular cigar.
Yeah.
Because they're the equivalent of
they're they're orphan barrel. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
But so I've had like 3 Lost and Founds, but they're all within the past like 2 years.
Well, they kind of for a while there got lost from their initial concept. Okay. Where they were like finding these actual rare stuff, and then for a while they come out with so much stuff in the last couple of years that it just seems like you're just getting anything. But then this was like their finale. Like these were legit
like D1s, right?
Oh, they were absolutely out of this world amazing. Like if you can find them anywhere, buy them. Buy every single one you can because they were so incredibly good.
Okay, I think Alex set us up on a question. I'm going to ask it anyways. He said, I just had my first Fuente Pussy Juice. Ask the boys about that cigar.
Okay, there's no way it's fucking named that, first off.
So Fuente
Carlito loves to name his cigars that kind of stuff. That's why the Opus X is named Opus X, because he thought that Opus X sounded like
holy shit. Are you serious?
That's what I'm smoking tonight.
That's insane.
Right.
So he loves to
a couple days.
He likes to push the boundaries. He likes to push the boundaries.
Holy shit.
God bless him.
I thought that was a fake cigar.
That is hilarious.
I haven't had one.
I do have a box of the rare pinks, so we haven't opened yet.
Rare pinks, and we have the smoking Dubai, super crazy limited one. Those are really good. Fuentes, it's interesting because I'm not the biggest fan of their, they make cigars that are $6 every, all the way up to $100, but for me it's like once you cross the Opus X line, that's when it gets like next.
Although that Rosado 858 was absolutely out of this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they it kind of depends with Fuente. Look, first of all, let it be known. I'm going to say it right here. Nobody makes better cigars than Fuente. They as legendary as they are, they deserve the legend because they make some of the greatest cigars on this planet Earth. There's no question about it. But what Jordan just said is also true. They make so many cigars, many SKUs. There's a million SKUs out there. So you kind of got to search around a little bit. There's one that I just mentioned, the 858 Rosado. Not super available. You can kind of find it here or there. It's not expensive, but when you find, it's kind of like guys, when you find like a really good bourbon that's like $50, and like Henry McKenna or something, and you're just like, oh wow, like this is actually super, super good. Mm-hmm. So like Fuente, they're legit. Like in the cigar world, as much cred as they get, they deserve it.
They're pretty much the only brand that, like you're just saying, that is like bourbon, and that like the MSRP on these crazy cigars will be like $15, and you don't know that. Yeah. When you go to buy it, it's $100 or whatever. They're pretty much the only brand like that.
I think we talked about it before, but some people might not have heard it. a lot in the whiskey world, we notice there's diminishing returns after you spend so much on a bottle. For us, it's like when you get past like $80, maybe $100, like how much better of a product are you getting for your buck?
Yeah.
Do you guys see that in the cigar world a lot? Like, is there a certain threshold on a stick that you see you're just like, that's too fucking much? Like, it's not worth it anymore for me.
Like Steve Saka is kind of famous for that. He made this cigar called the Unicorn, and he just flat out tells you like this cigar is not. It's $100, but it's not going to be a million times better than a $20 cigar. Just that's literally how much it took me to make this cigar. Like he hand lathed out like the molds in like a to form the shape of the cigar himself, and like did all kind of stuff like that that brought out the craziest, most limited cigar he could possibly imagine. But it's like, is it going to taste any better than any other $20 cigar? Probably not.
And the cool thing about with Steve, which Jordan just mentioned, is he's totally upfront about it. Like he's not trying to like, he's not trying to bait and switch you in any sort of way. He's just, hey, like I decided to make this crazy cigar.
Yeah.
It's similar to the other cigars that I've made, but I did all this sort of hand work myself. And so that's why it's $100. Diminishing returns, but at the same time, like we haven't talked about Cuban cigars at all. It's just like with Cubans, like the very best Cuban in the world is going to be a fantastic cigar. The average Cuban, it's not so great. Like it's like people, like strive after getting Cubans. There's no reason to. The better cigars in this world come from the DR. They come from Nicaragua. They come from Honduras. Times have changed, boys. Like. Literally, it really is like you get an Alec and Bradley coil, like the Petit Lancero. Mm-hmm. It is a absolutely phenomenal cigar, and it's not that much money. Like you can get a fantastic cigar. It's not that much money.
If I was gonna like put like a number on it, I would say like $20 to $30 can be worth it. And if you go past that, like $35 range, you're really just paying for something.
Some marketing,
super limited or
a name, That's it makes sense. I think with everything, right? Like with everything.
But that's wild to me because, like, when you sit down, a cigar is like that's a one shot. You spend $30 on a cigar. It's like, I get to fucking have this once, and that's it. So,
and you do, but the cigar is cool that few other things like this, you get the 2 hours of enjoyment, and it can change a lot more than a bourbon's going to change in your glass or a beer or anything like that. So there's a lot more, I would say, in going on in that $30, but it's one shot. You're right.
Now I don't know how many Cubans you have, or have smoked in your life, but Cubans tend to have basically one flavor profile. It's all Cuban tobacco. They're all Cuban puros. They're basically all made at the same factories. And so, like, the varnish of that has worn a bit thin. When you say, Jordan?
Cubans make perhaps you might find the best cigar in the world to be a Cuban, and also the worst cigar in the world to be a Cuban.
It's a real fine line there.
Well, what's super crazy for people like getting into cigars, and I mean, even people into cigars that just weren't in like the Cuban part of it, is like the amount of fake Cubans is like the craziest fucking thing in the world. Like when you find out like how close a fake Cohiba band is to a real Cohiba band, it's fucking crazy.
That one that the guy posted in the Facebook group, that someone posted their Cubans, and someone was like, all right, so if you look at like the dots, like those are off, and it was like, what the hell? Like they're like, that's just a wrong shade of teal.
Well,
and it was
the head is like centered lower than it needs to, and it was just like, dude, they're fucking crazy.
I would never know that.
Well, first of all, like why, for my criticism to going into the Cuban scene altogether is why put yourself into that to begin with. You could get a cigar just as good that you're not going to have to worry about if it's fake or not.
Right.
But we did get tricked back in the day, way before we knew what we were doing. We went on a cruise, and famously, like, we didn't know this at the time, but like if you find Cuban cigars in like glass top box,
that was
always fake, right? Like that's just an easy tell.
Yeah.
And we were at the time wondering, like, but why would that even be? Because, like, if you're gonna fake a cigar, wouldn't you try to fake what it actually looks like? But like, but they don't care. They're like,
no, because people
buy it the way that consumers want to buy it. They don't care that people could easily spot that.
And the longer you're sort of in the industry, the quicker you can spot. Like, people post that stuff all the time, and our opinion has always been on the dojo. Like back in the day, like before we made our app or any of that sort of stuff, like on the forums, the cigar forums and stuff, people would post like an obvious fake Cuban, and people would just rip them. Like they would just absolutely like, what are you, a freaking moron?
Hey, mistakes happen, man.
And so like our opinion was always like, don't do that. Like if a guy posts that, just say, hey man, thank the person that gave that to you. They meant well, but they just didn't realize, at the time. And so you got to kind of ease those guys down and not crush their soul, by making fun of them in that way.
You might like the cigar anyways. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, look what my wife got me while on,
that's the thing.
It was
it's always a fucking gift.
Yeah.
It's always a gift.
Yeah.
And that's the bummer part, because you're not trying to shit on somebody's friend, because like you said, the intention was probably genuine.
Well meant.
Absolutely, yeah.
But dude, to go to somewhere and like be a tourist and then be like, hey, look at these Cuban cigars. You're like, Cubans, like the word Cuban cigar is
The
like a
notoriety
holy
of it.
grail,
Yeah.
right? It's like saying Pappy Van Winkle. It's the same concept. It's just freaking.
There's Matt. He just said, I've bought like 35 Cuban sandwiches, and I'm pretty sure I've never got a legit one.
What's crazy about Cubans is like if you do go there, some of the super ultra cheap stuff, like if you're in Cuba, can be really good. Like a $3 cigar can be really good because they do grow amazing tobacco. There's no question about that. But here's the difference with so like if people are watching and they're wondering like, what's the difference between Cubans and say Nicaraguans and say Dominican cigars and Honduran cigars? The beauty of all the other countries is they have the luxury, you guys, of blending. Like a Dominican cigar can have Nicaraguan tobacco in it. It can have Honduran tobacco in it. So you can come up with these crazy blends, kind of like what they do in wine or kind of what they do in bourbon, like to be honest. But Cuban cigars don't have that luxury. Like it's just Cuban tobacco. And so it has this one flavor profile. If you like it, that's great. It's a very musky kind of like almost what would you call that, Jordan? BO, not BO. BO is a bad.
It's an animal. Have you ever smelled? You guys have dogs?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, have you ever smelled like your dog's foot or like in his ear? Like that's what a Cuban.
That is like so hyper specific.
The ear
Now I
thing,
have to go home.
100%. The ear
What?
thing, 100%.
You smell your dog's ear?
Well, because I scratched their ears.
Oh.
Sure, yeah.
And then if you smell it on your hands, now their feet though,
Yeah.
I've never picked up at their feet and just.
I've been smashed in the face by knocks in the morning. Like just
people make fun of the weird notes we come out with and all this stuff. But like in like beer, they describe the Belgian beers a lot as like horse blanket. That's kind of in the same vein. Like why would you think that horse blanket would be good? Right?
That's why I hate it.
Listen,
I hate horse blanket.
Sean one time said like cucumber essential oil or some shit, so I get it 100%.
It's legit. You agreed.
I agree with cucumber. I don't remember the rest of the
fake,
real specific.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. It happens.
Okay, so it's almost 11. We've almost had you guys on here for 2 hours. So before we do end it, I do want to talk about something because we just did, you guys have done these in the past. And I think you guys are doing another one at some point here, but we just did our cigar collaboration with Alec Bradley. So we just dropped 2 different cigars. We dropped the Hungarian and we dropped the Toast.
I will tell you why it's called the Hungarian real quick.
That's
because
where I was going to go.
Dan tried to say Honduran one time and he was like, I think it's Hungarian. And I just kind of looked at him and I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's like Hungarian tobacco. I was like, no, buddy, that's not how that works.
Well, the worst part is
Close.
I said it in like a patron only video.
Yeah, confidently.
And Alec texted and was like, hey, buddy, it's definitely not Hungarian. Like, I don't even know what the fuck you were thinking. And so then that was our first. That was the first cigar we ever did with Alec and Bradley. These are the next 2 cigars we did with Alec and Bradley. There's still some Toast available. Independent Joe is in here. If you could find the link to that, it's on bourbonoutfitters.com. If you search cigars, that link will come up. But there are still 10 packs of the Toast left. The Toast is like the more mild, more coffee or like peated scotch is what Sean found it paired really well with.
We were going through and trying to find like a pairing with it. And I was like sitting there smoking it. and I had a 1792 Bottle and Bond, and I was like, dude, this tastes like sulfur.
Yeah.
Like there's something like really weird going on with the interaction. I said, well, I got to try it now. I went and grabbed peated scotch, a cast strength peated scotch. I was like, this is probably the best fucking pairing I've ever had with a peated scotch. It's wild.
And then we had both cigars lit. So I picked up the toast and I tried it. I'm like, dude, it's like buttered lobster. It's like the greatest freak. If you like buttered lobster, it was like salty and briny and buttery and thick. And
what are their wrappers like? What did you guys?
Alec,
what's the blend like?
Alec.
Oh, the wrapper is the easy part. Come on.
We know how to smoke cigars. We don't know shit.
A Hungarian wrapper. Is someone saying.
Hungarian.
I believe the Hungarian is a Nicaraguan Puro. I believe. And then I don't remember what the
wild
I don't remember what the toast was. I do think the Hungarian's a Nicaraguan Puro.
Well, you guys got to send us some of those.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We will. So
we'll get our guy on it.
We just dropped those a couple weeks back now. The Hungarians are all sold out. There's still some toast left on the Bourbon Outfitters thing that I believe I didn't click Alec's link, but I believe that Alec would probably link that correctly. But the other one was toast because I always say like I always smell burnt toast type thing, and it has like a burnt toast on the wrapper.
Back to the fact that we just have a lot of strokes trying to pronounce things a lot.
Yeah. Like you guys, listen. Bourbon is so damn easy to pronounce. Scotch, not easy to pronounce.
Yeah, it gets a little bit tricky.
Cigars,
fuck,
way harder.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
It's crazy.
I have to correct him on the show all the time.
I can't pronounce anything that is not just a 100% American.
That's
okay.
You're a fucking liar.
That makes that's true.
Whatever name we murdered earlier.
Yeah,
you're just like, dummy, it's this. We're just like, cool.
Alex said that the toast on the wrapper is as the professionals in the industry would say, they'd call the trojes. You know what I mean? So
okay, so they did that out of the races cabana.
How do you actually pronounce that? How do you say that correctly?
I would say trojes.
Okay, I was pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give myself a 90% on that.
Yeah.
That's like a region, so it doesn't tell you that varietal or anything, but a lot of their wrappers or come out of there 98 usually.
Okay.
But so for people in chat, if you guys want to try the toast, if you like coffee cigars, it's a great coffee cigar. I've had several with different cups of coffee now. And then Sean with the peated scotch, I'm 100% in on the peated scotch idea. Like a midday cigar with peated scotch is freaking awesome. So if you guys want those, Alec did post that. You want to pin Alec's thing right to the top?
Yeah, that's a good
so
idea.
People can click it if they want. And then the Hungarian thing. So ever since that happened, it was like we talked about it. It was like the next cigar we release has to literally be it has to be the Hungarian.
We were sitting there thinking like names and stuff. I was like, buddy, you know what it's got to be.
It has to be the Hungarian.
It's got to be.
It has to be.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I want to get my hands on those and give them a try.
We'll send you guys some of each. The Hungarian is, I had it with an Old Elk cognac finished bourbon. Old Elk is out in Colorado as well. And they did like these kind of semi-limited wine finish release. They did like 3 different wine finishes. One of them was a cognac finish. And that cigar with the cognac finish, or with like, I think I've had it with 2 other wine finished whiskeys, is so fucking awesome. But Alex said I nailed it, and I will stop pronouncing things for the rest of my life.
You should.
At the
now,
top.
guys, I know we're winding down, but since I have Jordan on the spot here, do you guys mind if I
go ahead
do it?
Put him on the spot real quick.
I don't even care what you're going to say next. Do it. You know what I mean?
Why would you ever do that?
I want to put Jordan on the spot. Jordan, I'm going to say 3 countries of tobacco, and you have to give me one word that describes the most pronounced flavor that you'll get from the 3 countries. Because I think this will help people when they want to buy cigars.
Get them up.
All right, and I know what your first one's going to be.
Take it.
The Dominican Republic.
Floral.
Oh.
Nicaragua.
I would go with black pepper.
Honduras.
Pretzel dough.
There you go, folks. So if you're looking to buy cigars and you're not sure what country you like, this guy has the best palate in the industry right here. So
that was incredible.
I've never used any of those in cigars.
That was amazing.
So I need to step up my game.
Wait. Revisit what was the note on the third one?
Pretzel dough?
Holy
pretzel
shit.
dough.
That's so good.
Now, I would disagree only on one of those.
Okay.
Would you go different on Nicaragua?
No, I would go different on Dominican Republic. I'd say nutty. I'd say nutty is
Okay.
the flavor. Like peanuts. I would say
Okay.
peanuts, almonds, cashews.
I'll stick with my answer.
And Jordan would stick with his answer, but he's
I know what I'll stick with it.
Respectfully, I'll decline.
he's probably more right, and he's certainly right on Nicaragua, and he's certainly right on Honduras. Those are great descriptors. But that's the cool thing, right? Like those countries have such a dramatically different flavor profile, you know.
100%.
Now I got to give Alex note. He said Dominican musty. Huh?
Yep.
That's more Cuban, in my opinion, but okay.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I agree.
Yeah,
Alec, you're
yeah.
an idiot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He said is earthy.
Yep.
What do you
Wait,
guys-
what was that?
Nicaraguan is earthy.
That would be my second.
That's
choice.
a great descriptor.
Yeah.
That's a
And
great.
then Honduran, he said sweet.
You can't say that.
What is it?
Cop out.
Two, Alec? What are we doing? We're really phoning it in as Alec from Alec Bradley right now? Oh my gosh.
Alex drunk.
You imagine? Okay.
Honduras is just smoke.
Fucking Alec.
That's what I get. Smoke.
No,
God, what a-
I'm just joking.
On Hungarian tobacco,
Yeah.
I get
We get
great bourbon pairings. Is
Yeah,
what I get.
wrong.
Come to find
Wrong is
out.
what you get. Oh my goodness.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay. So we have had you guys on here for 2 hours. Thank you guys for staying on for so
Yeah,
long.
thanks
This is a
Thank you
long
for
time
having us,
ago. It
guys.
is.
Yeah.
If you guys want to tell everybody where they can check you guys out, what you guys got coming, anything going on right now that you want to share with everybody in chat, now is a great time.
All right, cool. So check us out on cigardojo.com. Obviously, that's where we do all of our reviews and news and sort of stuff like that. We just released this product from Neptune Cigars. It's amazing. You get this cool container, you get this cool travel kit, and inside this travel kit, you get 5 Espinosa Habanos and 5 of our own Sensei's Sensational Sarsaparilla in a special exclusive size. We just did that about 2 weeks ago, so we're super excited about this product. You get all of this at Neptune Cigars. Go check them out. We made plenty for everybody to get. They're really, really cool. If you want to participate in the community, go to dojoverse.com on your phone, and you can check into cigars. You can become a white belt. You can become a yellow belt. Eventually, Jordan, you become a ninja at some point along the way. You can have some fun with us down the line. We do a podcast every Wednesday and Friday night. Wednesdays is Flavor Odyssey, where we pair usually bourbon. Usually it's some type of bourbon with a cigar, and we try to pick the best pairing. Tomorrow night we're doing an amaretto sour.
Ooh.
Amaretto sour, boys. Dan, Sean, amaretto sour. It's the whiskey version, though. You add some whiskey. What would you
Here's the
pair?
thing.
What would you pair with
I
that?
am not a sour.
You're not a cocktail savant?
I am not a cocktail sour kind of guy. I'm just not.
Come on.
Manhattans, I'm in. Old fashions, I'm in.
Agree.
Sweet candy tasting fat kid cake, I'm in. Right. Sours, I'm out.
Well, you
I'm
should have
just-
seen what we
I
did
like-
last week. Is Dirty Dr. Pepper. It was Coke, amaretto, and Fireball.
That was pretty good.
Oh, that's
And then
interesting.
every Friday night, boys, as our Smoke Night Live, that's our big podcast where we invite guys from the cigar industry. This Friday night, we're going to be doing blind cigar reviews with Emmett Malone from Blind Man's Puff. That's where we take cigars that we don't know what they are, and we smoke them blind, and we rate them live on the show. So that's what we're
Oh.
doing this Friday night.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
real. Thank you guys for having
100%.
us on
Dealing
twice.
with us.
Thank you guys for dealing with all our bullshit every time. And then thank you
Usually
guys for
audio
coming
issues.
on here and shooting the shit with us for a couple hours and chilling and hanging out and just having a good
Oh,
time.
that's a
So,
blast.
It was amazing, man. Thank you guys so much. We enjoy your show. We watch your YouTube channel. I'm subscribed, and so
sorry.
I'm a 100% bourbon junkie, brother. That's my
Appreciate
Appreciate
favorite.
that.
yeah. No, thank you guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you guys, everybody in chat. Thank you guys for the super chats tonight and hang out and chat with us all night. You guys are fucking best. We love you guys. We will see you guys next Tuesday.
If you guys want to hang around a minute, we'll talk a
absolutely.
little bit more.
Is
But
Cheecher's going to go live?
yeah, if you're going live, head on over to his channel, which I hope he posted in here. You guys can go see him for another round
Yep. Go hang out with Cheech, have some more drinks if that's what you're
and
looking
hang
to
out
do.
on this fine Tuesday night.
Yep. We
Thank
love
you guys for being here.
Seriously.
See you Tuesday.